Now playing at quarterback.
And can the Bills get to Dan Marino? Nobody sacked him in 19 games, but Buffalo has one of the best in Bruce Smith.
Well, I saw Dan and Bruce Smith talking before the game. They're sitting down on the sideline. As I walked by, I said, Dan, I bet you hope that this is as close Bruce comes to you all day. And they both smile. Bruce a smile saying, wait a minute, I think I'm going to get a little bit closer as the game goes.
The Dolphins have won the toss, and they'll receive to start the game. There's Coach Don Shula, called that opening loss at Joe Robbie Stadium one of the most disappointing of his career when Kelly scored on the final play of the game. Into the ball to Scott Norwood. And this is Willard Reeves, a new acquisition this week because of the injuries to Dolphin runners. And Reeves takes it across the 20, and he gets it to about the 24-yard line, where Dan Marino leads the Miami Dolphins offense out. Roy Foster playing very well at left guard again this year. They take care of Marino. 766 pass attempts with no sacks. Sammy Smith starts as a runner, the rookie from Florida State. When they go to a passing formation, Jensen comes in as next receiver. Fred Banks and Andre Brown will come in. So the Dolphins, who beat the Bills 20 straight times during the 1970s, have now lost 5 straight to Buffalo. Dolphin win today gets them a share of first. End off, and the Bills shut down the run. The veteran Fred Smerlas is there quickly to get Sammy Smith. Smerlas, an 11-year veteran from Boston College, still playing some very good football for Buffalo. He's one of the focal points of their defense, a fiery player. Art Still, Fred Smerlas, and Bruce Smith across the defensive front. Cornelius Bennett is a first-team All-Pro player at the outside linebacker position. The dime defense brings these extra people in. John Hagee has just been activated, a big-time hitter from the University of Texas. There was virtually no gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Again, the Dolphins try to run, and this time they get some yards on a quick trap up the middle. Smith drives the ball out across the 25-yard line and out close to the 28.
With the injury to Troy Stratford, this is actually Sammy Smith coming out party. I think one of the things you're going to see today, the Dolphins like to bring in number 11, Jim Jensen, put him in the backfield on a passing situation. But I think today they may try a new wrinkle, and that is putting Mark Clayton in the backfield and letting him get one-on-one with a linebacker. As you can see, he's lined up now as a setback in the backfield. That puts a lot of pressure on the defensive linebacker.
Yeah, it does. Linebacker has to cover Clayton coming out of the backfield as Marino looks to throw. Markers are down, and he went to Clayton. It's incomplete at the 35-yard line. But a marker's down. Buffalo gets a ferocious rush. This time, apparently, Ahmad, they miss a line, and they're going to be called for a 5-yard penalty, but the Bills will refuse that and take a punt.
Once again, you see Mark Clayton to the right of your screen, just coming out of that backfield, trying to get one-on-one and on that extra defensive back. He's coming over the middle. False start. Offense. Still 3rd down.
Well, they had to take the penalty because it was before the snap of the ball, so it's an automatic penalty. So 3rd down comes up again. This time it'll be 3rd down and about 9.
It's going to be awful tough to try to stop Mark Clayton coming out of that backfield. He's awful quick. And anytime you get a 5th defensive back in or a linebacker, there's an overmatch there. That's the one that Marino's going to be trying to find.
Bright sunny day, cloudless skies. They say the temperature on the field's up around 80. Here's Marino, quick out, throwing downfield. Look at that ball, a perfect strike and a first down. As he gets the ball downfield for a first down to Andre Brown, a first-year player from the University of Miami. 21-yard gain, Ahmad.
First down, Miami.
This, you know, when the thing about Miami's offense is that 3rd and long means nothing to them. They are so comfortable in that situation with a quarterback like Marino. Here you see him just hit Banks coming across the middle, and Banks doing a fine job of running the ball afterwards. When you get a lot of pressure on you, when you put Miami in a 3rd and long, then the pressure is certainly on your entire defense. That was Andre Brown on the catch.
Marino looks again. There's the quick fire downfield, and he gets Jensen out of the backfield as the Dolphins cross midfield on a first down throw. The gain is down to the 47-yard line. Radisek came up and made the hit. Very quick timing passes by Marino.
Bruce Smith certainly fired up for this game. He wants to be the guy that sacks Marino for the first time. There's a lot of, you know, they respect each other. I thought it was kind of neat to watch these 2 guys talking to each other before the game, and they're asking about their families. You know, a lot of back and forth, but I guarantee you they both know that Bruce is intent on getting to Dan today.
Bruce Smith had 3 sacks last week in the rout of the Jets here at Rich Stadium. Pitch back on 2nd down and 4, and the Dolphins get some room to run, and that is the rookie, Sammy Smith, going hard, and he looks to have a Miami first down close to the 41-yard line of the Bills, as the strong safety for Buffalo, 46, Leonard Smith, made the hit.
Sammy Smith showing that he's ready to turn that ball up the field and start running hard. Here, a lot of good blocking in front. Sammy Smith turns the ball up into the line and powers over Leonard Smith for the first down.
Marino off to a rare start. He's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns through the first 7 games. 10 TDs, 13 intercepts.
He said the interception, the only one that really bothered him was the one he threw last game against Buffalo.
That was a costly one that led to the final drive as Davenport runs the ball and is knocked down by Art Still. 2-yard gain on first down.
Just a little power dive by Davenport. And just a little power tackle by Art Still, number 72. It's one of these rare players that seems to be getting better with age.
Art Still, the 2nd player picked in the entire draft by Kansas City, after Earl Campbell was taken by Houston in the 1978 draft. Still playing well at left end. Dolphins moving the ball on their opening possession. There's no score. Handoff, and Davenport breaks it and gets inside the 30. So the Dolphins are using a lot of different blocking schemes to attack this very formidable Buffalo front, and they're moving the ball, running it.
The Miami Dolphins have run the ball very well the last couple of weeks. That was a 10-yard gain by Davenport. And this is a very nice cut back up into the middle. Most backs will try to keep that ball outside and can't get any yardage. What Davenport does is start going north and south right away. And if Miami can continue to run the ball well, that puts so much pressure on Marv Levy's defense.
Dolphins have a 3-game win streak going. They started off 1-3, but now they're 4-3. They win 4 in a row. It'll be the first time in 4 years they've done that. Cutting back is Smith, and he makes his way down to the 25-yard line on a first down carry. Sammy Smith is ahead for a gain of 3 yards to bring up 2nd and 7. Cornerback Kirby Jackson made the tackle for the Bills.
No one knew how well Sammy Smith was going to do. When we talked to Don Shula yesterday, he just said, hey, I don't know. He gets his chance today. And so far, he is making the best of his chance. A very nice cut. Cuts back against the grain and then cuts the ball back upfield. Very nice moves by Sammy Smith.
2nd down and 7 coming up. No score. Smith caught by Bruce Smith. Sammy Smith caught by Bruce Smith. As the Brew call goes out, there's number 78, the consensus all-pro pass rusher. In this morning's Buffalo News, they had a whole compendium of quotes from Dolphins talking about this game and what it meant and how they were going to beat Buffalo. And Bruce Smith is one person who openly says, I get motivated by what I read in the newspaper.
Well, it takes different things for different people.
Right. Whatever's fair. 3rd down and 9 now for Miami as Dan Marino checks his alignment and sets in the gun. Bills with a deep zone defense, and here is a throw and a drop ball at the 23-yard line. Bring up 4th down, and they send out Stoyanovich. It'll be a long kick. Red Banks was the intended receiver. That's the guy who said we're not going to just beat him, we're going to beat him big.
Well, they're not going to beat him with plays like that. Banks, I'm telling you, had he caught that ball, there was a lot of running room in front of him. In order for the Dolphins to be successful, you got to catch balls like that. He laid that ball right in his hands. And Marino, being a field leader out there, he'll let Banks know that, hey, man, in order for us to do anything, you got to catch the ball. I did my part.
45-yard field goal coming up by Stoyanovich. He is only 1 for 4 outside the 40. He's 10 for 10 inside the 40. Hits the ball very well, and he drives it up and through, and the Dolphins are on the board. So the Miami Dolphins take the opening kickoff, move it down the field with a varied offense, and Stoyanovich puts up the first points of the game.
Miami wanted to do in this game was establish the run, and I think they did that very well. A lot of people thought that they're going to really miss Troy Stratford, and they do, but the guys they got in there, Sammy Smith.
Davenport will be in there with him. He's been in a lot. Miami does well when they start off first on the board, Ahmad.
They certainly do. This year, anytime they've scored first, they've been 3-0. I don't think that's going to count in this game, though. I expect the Bills to come right back.
Yeah, Bills can really run the ball. Here's a kickoff, and this is the fastest Bill, Don Beebe, running it back across the 20. He's a rookie. Beebe breaks it and gets out across the 35-yard line, but there's a penalty marker down. As Bills and Dolphins start up after the tackle is made, Hobley and Drain were pushing each other.
They tell us that Don Beebe runs a 4.2940, which is almost a blur. I've never seen anybody run that fast, and I played with some pretty good speed merchants.
He said the Jets had him in 4.22 and the Bills had him in 4.29. Either one is acceptable if legit.
Holding number 54 on the run back. First down.
Carlton Bailey with a holding call on the run back, so it comes way back now.
And Beebe with just a crack there. There you see that 4.29 speed where he makes it right through the crack there, and he's off to the races a little bit. You know, when you run 4.29, the collisions are a little bit harder, a lot faster.
I tell you, with higher speed collisions, couldn't even see Bailey on the picture on that side. I don't know if his illegal block influenced the play, but it brings the ball back. So the Bills go from scrimmage for the first time. First down and 10 at their 24-yard line. Dolphins in the lead 3-0. Thurman Thomas, he's good. Across the 30 and out to the 33-yard line. This is a tremendous back from Oklahoma State in his second year. Leads the AFC in total yards. Barry Krause comes up to make the tackle. Bills have great size at their tackles, both 300-pounders in Wolford and Howard Ballard. Frank Wright making his third straight start at quarterback. Beat the Rams with a comeback. Was excellent against the Jets. Passing downs, Ronnie Harmon, who made a one-hand touchdown catch last week against the Jets, comes in. Andre Reed, though, 83 is the guy to watch. Top receiver this year in the AFC, 48 catches. Hand off to Thomas. He turns the corner and moves the ball and gets a first down on a 2nd and 2 play. The single biggest overmatch in this game is Buffalo's ability to run the ball and Miami's inability to stop the run. The Dolphins are allowing 4.6 yards per rush by the opponent. Langford and Judson, the veteran cornerbacks. Williams and Oliver, the newcomers at safety. Oliver, a rookie, second year. Defensive line. T.J. Turner's not here. He's injured. Line will come out on the dime defense of the Dolphins. They send in all new people, virtually all. Miami's defense has grades low overall, but they've made a lot of big plays to win games when it counted. They're 13th in the AFC in defense. Hand off, and again they go to Thurman Thomas. This time Miami fills better and stops the run after a gain of about 3 yards to the 41-yard line.
I think the key that you said, Don, is they've been able to make big plays. A lot of times those statistics will fool you. The key to playing winning defense is to come up with big plays. You can let them run all over the field, but if you can make the play at the right time, I'm telling you, that's what makes a good defense, not the stats.
Yeah, Marv Levy, the coach of the Bills, was telling us yesterday how it breaks down to the individual down. He said the biggest thing the Bills have going for them defensively, they allow only 2.7 to the rush on first down. All right, hands off, right back to the money, Thurman Thomas. With those change of pace moves, he comes in, takes some hard pops from Miami Dolphins. E.J. Jr. was there to stick him, along with the nose tackle Brian Sauché, 70. E.J. Jr., 54. A B-plan player from the Phoenix Cardinals. Total yards from scrimmage. See Thomas with 881. Leading James Brooks and Christian Okoye. He's run it 4 times already today and is getting some nice yards on that.
4 times to 21 yards. And what he does is he follows his blocking so well. As you watch him run, he picks his holes and he hugs his blockers. And then he has that acceleration that he can explode once he finds a crack.
That's his great strength, his ability to wait on his blockers, then make that burst. From the shotgun on 3rd and a long 3, swing pass. It's caught by Thurman Thomas, and he has a first down to the Miami 48-yard line. Thomas comes out of the backfield. Reich leads him. Thomas bobbled it, but got the handle before going out of bounds. Oliver was covering.
When I talked to the Miami defense, I asked them what do they worry about Andre Reed, they said Thurman Thomas is the guy. Within a 3rd and long situation, they like to hit him in the flat and let him run with it. But right there, you see Louis Oliver is right on top of him, and a fine play by Thurman Thomas. He stops him from running over that bench. But I guarantee you, if he gets a shot at him in the middle of that field, he told me, he said, you know, somebody's got to go down.
They're big-time hitters, Jarvis Williams and Louis Oliver.
They call themselves the B-52 Bombers.
The Bombers from the University of Florida. End up to Larry Kinnebrew, the power back who had a tremendous game against the Jets. He ran the ball 17 times for 77 yards. He's a free agent player the Bills signed. He was a very good player for 3 years at Cincinnati. Tailed off. They caught him. He was working construction last year. Dolphins are protesting. Barry Krause thought he stole the ball. Instead, the Bills got a gain of 7 yards on first down. 2nd down and 3 at the Dolphin 41-yard line.
Well, the thing that Kennebrew can do is once he hits a hole and he gets in behind those offensive linemen, you got a guy that weighs 260 pounds pushing along with his offensive linemen, and they just take the pile and move it back.
Last week we had him at 270. He corrected that at practice, so. Harmon comes in and runs on 2nd down, and the Dolphins come in a pack and throw back Ronnie Harmon. William Judson, 49, led the tacklers. He wanted you to be sure yesterday about you knew his weight, right?
He said, he asked me, did I have my notepad? He said, well, take it out and write this down. I'm 260 pounds. And I wrote it down.
At Cincinnati, he played it as high as 282. And the great stat about him that people don't believe, but it's true, in a high school track meet in Georgia, he beat Herschel Walker.
He did, and he said the time was 9.6. He also said Bob Trumpy got him cut from Cincinnati because Trumpy kept talking about his weight on his talk show.
Really? Well, he's back and playing well. Now it's 3rd down and very short. Bills go to the shotgun, hand off to Thurman Thomas. Bunkers in front. He connects and gets the 1st down and more. As the Bills run the ball into the Dolphin defense inside the 30-yard line down to the 28.
Just intelligent running, Don. We talked about it, how he likes to hug that blocker, and then he has that explosion to take off once he sees the gap. That's exactly what he did there. He was right on the hip of that blocker. That was a 13-yard gain, but watch Thurman Thomas. He's right on the hip of his blocker. Now, all of a sudden, he sees a crack, and he explodes right through 2 guys. And that's when he's really dangerous. He sees the hole so well.
He's accounted for over a half mile in offense from scrimmage in the first 7 games of the season.
35% of the Bills' offense.
He's the deep back now as the Bills send a tight end in motion. On 1st down, to give up the middle, and Kennebrew, taking on tacklers, drives Dolphin defense back and takes the ball close to the 22-yard line. Big game at Cleveland where the Oilers have gone in front of the Browns 7-0 in the 1st quarter. Patriots lead the Colts. If the Colts should win today and if Miami should win, there'd be a 3-way tie for 1st in the AFC East. Cincinnati slumping, having lost 2 straight at home. New Orleans, a team to watch, coming on. Second and 4. Here is Thurman Thomas cutting back. Getting inside the 20. There was nothing there, but he made something out of it. Hugh Green got him, number 55, as the Bills go to Thurman Thomas time and again, only throwing conservative short passes when needed.
What great runners do, watch Thurman Thomas stretch the defense. He takes the pitch, and now watch him go wide. He's stretching the defense. They're trying to keep him from going around the end. As soon as they get outside, he cuts right back up in the inside of him and gets some yardage. Most backs, that's a run for no gain. But with Thurman Thomas, he's able to stretch him, cut back inside, and get some yards.
The Bills, a very well-balanced team. They're only one of 3 teams in the NFL that grades out in the league as in the top 10 on offense and defense. And Buffalo gets a 1st down. Miami's on the board on a 45-yard field goal by Stoyanovich on the opening drive. 1st quarter moving along quickly. 2:49 to play in it.
We talk about this Bills offense with Jim Kelly in there. You know, Kelly drives this car a little bit differently. He drives it at full throttle. And then Frank Wright comes out. He's an awful good driver, too, but he uses everybody around him, and that's his plus. Kelly there on the sideline just licking his chops. He wanted to play this week.
He looked ready yesterday. He really looks in good shape, but they don't want to jeopardize bringing him back a week early. Doesn't bother the Dolphins. Here's a handoff to Kennebrew, and he drives down inside the 10-yard line. When he wants to go, there's nothing quite like Larry Kennebrew from Tennessee State. A pile driver. A runaway truck, just taking on tacklers and moving the whole pile.
And I think some of those Miami Dolphins think he weighs 270 also. Like I thought. You just watch Kennebrew. This is big power running right here. Kennebrew takes this ball, gets inside his blockers, and now he's just bouncing off of people and powering forward. That's his 3rd carry for 22 yards.
So So the Bills drive on now. Second down and less than 2 coming up. Dolphins lead at 3-0 late in the first quarter. End up to Kennebrew, and he falls down to the 5-yard line. But he has a first down for the Bills. It'll be first and goal. And now the Dolphins will be attacking the football, trying to free it up.
I talked to Kennebrew before the game this morning. You know, he gets here to the stadium about 10 o'clock in the morning. He said, I leave from the hotel and come straight to the stadium because I don't like to go home. I said, why? He said, because I go home, my wife makes me take the garbage out. I said, I like to keep my mind on the game.
Well, that's a good place to be there in the locker room.
That's right.
Never can go wrong there. There's Tom Olivadotti, defensive coach of the Dolphins. End off to Thurman Thomas. Nothing there. Now he cuts back and gets a couple. On a first and goal play from the 6-yard line, he gets it down to about the 3. Time and again, Thurman Thomas makes something happen. If there's a crack, he shoots into it. Barry Krause, a 240-pounder, a 11-year veteran from Alabama. Again on the stop, number 58, as Thurman banged his right hand.
Looked like he may have got, a lot of times you'll get a shot on your forearm on that muscle there, and it causes a cramp in your hand. Looked like he might have taken a shot there, but Thurman reminds me a lot of Walter Payton, maybe a little bit faster, though.
Second down and goal. Power set for the Bills. 3 tight ends in the game. They go to Kennebrew, and he bangs down to the goal line, but the Dolphins keep him out for the moment. It'll bring up third down and goal from about the 1. Over 80,000 jamming Rich Stadium. Bills selling out game after game. 16 straight sellouts of 80,000, and they're up and cheering now as the first quarter winds down and out with the Dolphins in the lead 3-0, but the Bills challenging. They're cheering the first place Bills big time in Buffalo. Don Criqui with him out of shot. Rashad, it looks like at the outset of now he might have a track meet. Last at bat.
Well, I told you before this game that you don't have to tell these guys this is a game for first place. They came out, everybody's going 100 miles an hour. And the thing about it is nobody's throwing the ball too much. Miami comes out running the ball very well. And Buffalo, shoot, this is their 15th play coming up. They've only thrown 1 pass.
They're right down by the goal line of the Buffalo Bills looking to go ahead. Dolphins took the lead on a 45-yard Pete Stoyanovich field goal. John Offerdahl, who's been in, getting more playing time now, working back into form. Goal line defense for the Miami Dolphins. Third down and goal from a yard away. And here's Kennebrew, and he's in, standing up. Touchdown, Buffalo. The Bills take the lead 6-3.
They're 3-0, and I said that maybe it wouldn't count in this game, and Buffalo proved me right. They came right back down the field, and they put up 6. Looking for 7 here.
Bills very impressive offensively on that drive. Is driving it down the field. Straight ahead power runs by Kennebrew, darting runs by Thurman Thomas, and now the extra point by Norwood's up and good. And with just 2 seconds gone in the second quarter, the Bills have taken the lead, 7-3.
Power running. Kennebrew just powers through. He's tough to stop anywhere. He gets that stuff going. Boy, he can't be stopped.
6 yards. Had the ball for almost 8.5 minutes. And now the Bills are set to kick off for the second time. They did to open the game. Again, Willard Reeves and Terry Good are back deep for Miami. High spinning kick, and this is Willard Reeves from the 11. And he's tripped up. Chris Hale, the smallest player on the Bills team, a rookie defensive back from Southern California, number 26, makes the tackle. Now to NFL Live and Bob Costas. Bob?
All right, Don, in that Houston-Cleveland matchup in Cleveland, the Oilers take the ball, opening drive, keep it for 14 plays in almost 9 minutes, then cap it when Warren Moon goes 13 yards to Haywood Jeffries, who tumbles backwards into the end zone to give Houston a 7-0 lead late in the first quarter now at Cleveland. Back to Don and Ahmad.
Thank you, Bob, and we're set to go first and 10 Miami at the Dolphin 24-yard line. Second back through is Sammy Smith, and he takes a stick from All-Pro Cornelius Bennett. And then the Bills come en masse. knock him down. You see the score that Bob just alluded to. The Houston Oilers going up on Cleveland. Trudeau hit Risen for a touchdown. The Colts now lead New England. Testaverde's thrown for TD, and Boomer Esiason followed for the Bengals with one. 2 field goals, and Phoenix has a 6-0 lead at Dallas. Detroit now in front of the Packers 7-3. Here in Western New York, Orchard Park, Rich Stadium, the Bills lead the Dolphins 7-3. Both teams scoring on their opening possessions. And he let it off with a field goal. Buffalo came back. Touchdown. Throw in the flat. Crash Jensen gets the ball and is swept under by Scott Radisek. Gain of only about 2 yards. It looked like more than that. The ball was thrown to the flank, and it'll bring up 3rd down and about 7. Ronnie Harmon, an ace pass catcher for the Bills, out of their backfield on 3rd downs with a contusion of the shoulder being attended to.
There's a spot right on the top of that shoulder. If you get popped on it, it's almost like a hip pointer in your shoulder. Just right on the edge of it, and that's probably where he got popped.
Sounds like you've had those.
I've had one or two of those. I used to wear those Boys Club pads.
3rd down and 6. Long 6. Here's the rush. Marino gets it away and throws a perfect strike out to the 38-yard line to Mark Duper. Coming off the flank on a slant. Very interesting. Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator for the Bills, talking about how Marino really is looking right at the area he's going to go to. If he drops back, straight back, he's going to throw left like he does here. And you'll watch him if he drops back with his facing right, cross-stepping, then he's going to throw to the right. It was remarkable how many times it turned out that way watching Miami Dolphin offensive films with the defensive coordinator of the Bills, Walt Corey, the big man with his arms folded.
I know Walt Corey also realized the last play before that he looked left and threw it right to Jim Jensen. So it's one of those things that you like to know, but you don't want to count on it.
Bruce Smith stops the run. Never mind, Glenn Blackwood, who played for the Dolphins for so long, said the one distinguishing thing about Marino after you play against him time and time again is you never know where the ball's going.
That's exactly. He threw the 2 passes before that. He was leaning to the left and just fired it out to the right. But talking about firing out, watch Bruce Smith right here get rid of the blocker and just stuff Sammy Smith. Bruce Smith, I think that's what makes Bruce such a great player. He plays the run as well as the pass. He is just a dominating player on the defensive line.
Smith is playing with a tender ankle. It had him out of the lineup for a while. He does not like artificial turf. Here's a downfield throw intercepted by Cornelius Bennett. He's back to the 43-yard line. So tremendous pressure put on Marino by Bruce Smith, and sometimes the sack is far less valuable than a hurry that makes the quarterback throw the ball errantly, as Marino did there right to Cornelius Bennett. So Marino throws his 14th interception of the season, and the Bills take it over.
Bruce Smith lining up right over here, right in front of the center, Jeff Ulenek, who's a rookie. And a lot of times, Don just mentioned, it's not so important that you sack the quarterback, is that you make the quarterback hurry his throw. Bruce Smith, splitting the 2 guys, gets his hand up, makes Marino throw the ball a little high to Sammy Smith, and look who gets it, Mr. Bennett.
Biscuit Bennett, Cornelius Bennett.
And they were lucky to tackle him down because he's an excellent runner after the throw.
He is. He's as fast as most of the defensive backs, Bennett. So the Bills, leading 7-3, get their second possession now at the 42-yard line of Miami. Back to the power game, and Kennebrew, both arms on the ball. He has had fumble problems in his career. Thunders inside the 40 and down to the 38-yard line. E.J. Jr., 54, got him for the Dolphins.
A gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I tell you, these Buffalo backs, they are so excellent at finding the hole and getting up the field. There are so many backs that once they get in the open like that, they go east and west. And that's the easiest way for a defensive guy to make the tackle. Once you turn that ball up the field, you put all the pressure on the guy to make the tackle.
Here's Frank Reich now with a conservative offense, but a powerful one. Back to the run. This is Thurman Thomas dipping inside and out. Look at these moves by Thurman Thomas. 2 people finally get him as he's down to the 32-yard line.
I think we have a holding call. Anytime you see that flag being thrown in the middle of the pile, you get that old holding thing.
Referee today is Johnny Greer.
Holding. 67 offense. Still 2nd down.
Ken Hall on the holding call.
Pro Bowl center Kent Hull called for the hold.
But Thurman Thomas, we talked about him finding a spot. Watch him pick his hole here. He goes up to the middle of the line, then breaks it outside, then accelerates, and he's still into some dance steps down the field. He's not done. You got to really wrap him up to make sure you can tackle him, because he has more moves.
He's got everyone there is.
He is a fast Walter Payton.
And he breaks tackles. 5'10", 195. Right. Goes up the middle and makes the connection to a tight end, Keith McKellar. A very fast tight end, and he's got a first down for the Bills, a very close to one. Now let's go back to Bob Costas and NFL Live.
All right, Don, down 3-0 to the Patriots first quarter at the Hoosier Dome. Here comes Jack Trudeau for the Colts. A perfect throw. Andre Rison takes it in stride, his first NFL touchdown. And watch the maneuver now with Clarence Verdun, his teammate. A little Verdance. Very nice. 7-3 Colts.
Verdance. Nice, Bob.
The Verdance, they call it.
The Verdance. That'll be big in the clubs tonight.
Ball is spotted just short of the first down, so it's third and less than a yard for the Bills. They lead 7-3 in the second quarter. Kennebrew thunders into the Dolphin defense. He has a first down. And big Larry Kennebrew, both arms wrapped around that hog, making sure they don't knock it free.
That offensive line is playing with so much confidence. When they can pound out like that and know they got a big old 260, 270 pounder behind them to come firing in there, it really gives the offensive line a lot of confidence.
They say about Kennebrew, he makes his own interference sometimes, and sometimes it's his offensive lineman he runs through. Turned away, bang.
That'll motivate you if you're the offensive lineman and you're on a block and you know you got a big fella coming behind you. You got to get it out of the way.
And first down, they go to Thurman Thomas, and again with those remarkable change of pace moves. Look at him run inside the 15. He's not done. Inside the 10. One of the best runs of the NFL season by Thurman Thomas, who takes it in 30 yards, broken field for a Buffalo touchdown.
Field 1-2 times. Now he turns on the speed, and all I can say, Don, is woo-wee. Man, that's a run.
That's as good as it gets. Like the Juice a few years ago here in Buffalo, going through a whole defense. The Bills lead it 14-3. Dolphins like an on-rushing waterfall, just pouring it on, as Thurman Thomas just turned one of the great runs of this season, cutting through the Dolphin defense for 30 yards and a touchdown.
Thurman Thomas looking like one of the wonders of the world here so far this game.
He really had a tremendous effort. This is the Jaws section of the Rich Stadium. The
everybody
vroom, vroom Jaws music.
Everybody doesn't know it because they're not all doing it.
Very short. Coming up on the ball is Reeves again. He lost it. Picked up by a teammate, but he's quickly cut down at the 23-yard line. Making plays for Buffalo was John Hagee, number 22.
Now let's take another look at this touchdown. Thurman Thomas is going to break over here to the right, do a little something over here, break back over here to the right, do a little something here, and break into the end zone. And I can't draw it any better than that. But I tell you what, let's count the tackles. There's 1, 2, 3 guys that
we
miss
got him here for
4
sure.
Miss him, 5 miss him.
Got him.
6 miss him.
They'll get
7 miss him. 8, 9, 10, 11 guys. He ran through the entire team.
They're not going to get him. He did it again on replay. Dan Marino on a called sprint out with a great throw downfield for a first down to the 33-yard line. Marino is in excellent physical shape. His weight's down about 10 pounds, and he's been sprinting out more. As we again look at the 10-minute ticker and the scores of the 1 o'clock game. Bills opening up a 14-3 lead here after the Dolphins took a 3-0 lead on the opening drive. A Stoyanovich field goal.
Well, Bob Costas is going to have a lot of fun explaining that play of Thurman Thomas. If he liked that bird dance, I wonder what he's going to call this one.
I like what you had, the woo-woo.
I like that woo-woo.
First and 10 for the Dolphins at their 33. Clayton, 83 in motion. Second back is Smith, the rookie, and Bruce Smith gets him again. Bruce Smith saying to him, hello, cousin. They're not related, but they're awful close today.
Bruce Smith is just excellent. Here he just sheds the blockers. He's free into the backfield. Davenport tries to block him, but he reaches over the top of Davenport and still tackles Sammy Smith.
Bruce Smith, at his best, is an absolutely unblockable player. The #1 player picked in the draft when he came out of Virginia Tech in 1985 as the Outland Trophy winner. He sets the tone, and on the other side they have the brilliant young player Cornelius Bennett, another awesome pass rusher. Smith breaks it, and he gets a first down. Good change of pace move by 210-pound Sammy Smith, who ran for Coach Bowden and the Seminoles at Florida State. Very well the past 4 years, a 13-yard gain.
And Sammy Smith showing something that they didn't know that he's going to have this kind of resiliency. That was a 13-yard run. Sammy Smith still hitting this hole. There's a great gapping hole right there. Sammy Smith hits it going 100 miles an hour, and he's brought down by Kelso, number 38. The offensive line of the Miami Dolphins doing a fine job on the run.
There's a out pass, and a connection is made to Mark Duper. The hit is quickly put on him by Nate Odens, but Duper goes high and comes down with the ball. That's his 27th reception of the season, having another big year, averaging 18 yards a catch.
The pressure that this Miami Dolphins offense can put on you is if they can run the ball, and you've got to keep those linebackers up front to try to stop the run, then they have people like Duper and Clayton that can kill you deep. So the trick is you got to stop them from running the ball, therefore your linebackers can be free in that secondary.
And every DB knows what they do. They run those outs, and all of a sudden they turn it upfield for the bomb. Marino goes back to Smith. Nothing there for him. Shooting the gap was Gerald Talley, number 56, the most underrated player on the Bills roster. He grades out as their #1 defensive player, play after play. West Virginia.
When you have so many big-name stars on your defense like Cornelius Bennett and Bruce Smith and Art Steele, that sometimes Talley, you forget about him unless you're playing against him, and you know exactly where he is all the time if you're the opposing team.
You sure do, and he's double tough to get to him with a block because Smith is in front of him. He's always double teamed. 3rd down and 6 for Miami. Long ball. He's got a man down there. Duper cannot quite get to it at the 15-yard line. Mickey Sutton, the nickelback, number 20, was running with him stride for stride. Duper did have that extra step on him, and Marino is just a bit long. And the long-range bomber, Reggie Roby, now comes out to punt the ball. And wears a wristwatch when he punts.
I asked him about wearing that wristwatch. You know, punters are a little bit different kind of people. I said, why do you wear that watch? He said, oh, I'd see what time it is.
Check that hang time.
Yeah, why do most people wear watches?
I'll tell you, he unloaded that. Mickey Sutton wants no part of it, and it hops into the end zone for a touchback. And so the Bills will get the ball at their 20, and they will go 1st down and 10 with a 14-3 lead with 6:33 to play in the half.
Reggie Roby, one of the finer punters in the league, you know, before the game, he practices punting with a ball that weighs 3 times the weight of a normal ball. It's called the heavy ball, and he kicks that thing 50, 60 yards.
You know, I saw him yesterday in practice, and I noticed he wasn't kicking it as far as he usually does, but he seemed quite pleased, everybody, and so he probably didn't want to kick it out of the stadium, a regular ball.
He probably had that heavy ball. I tried to catch one of his punts one time. I was down in Miami training camp, and he kicked it up into the clouds, and when it came down, I tried to catch it. It ripped off my ring, my watch, my wrist, everything. Just tore everything off my hands.
Yeah, football weighs a lot when it comes down from that height.
Of course, I had my street shoes on. If I had my cleats, I'd have caught it.
And run it back.
That's right.
1st down Bills. They go to the run, and Thurman Thomas is right back at it, breaking into the Miami defense and out to the 30-yard line for a 10-yard gain and a 1st down.
I think we got a holding call, Don. This is the worst thing a running back wants to see, that holding call. After you get your brains beat out and you look up and you see there was one of them holding calls. But all you get, I mean, it's tough these days.
Holding. 70 offense. Still first down.
That's Joe Devlin on the hold. You know, it's just so tough for these guys to try to block these big defensive linemen. Joe Devlin gets his hands out a little bit too far. You see him on number 56, John Opperdahl, but he buries him after he gets him turned a little bit. And then Opperdahl playing with a little bit of a sore ankle. It's tougher to play on this AstroTurf when you got a bad ankle. You just can't get the traction you need.
There's no question. There's a lot of ankle problems on it. Danny Smith was concerned about it. He likes grass, and Thurman Thomas likes anything as long as he's got the ball. And he drives again across the 10-yard line and out close to the 15. Barry Krause was on the tackle. Played high school ball in Pompano Beach, Florida. Indianapolis extends its lead now to 10-3 over the Patriots. We have 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the first half here at Rich Stadium. Game moving along quickly. Bills running the ball and taking a 14-3 lead. McKellar got that 21-yarder, goes in motion. He'll lead the blocking now for Thurman Thomas, who dips in, dips out, cuts back. He's across the 20. He's on his races out across the 30-yard line and out to the 33. William Judson knocked him out of bounds finally. Thurman Thomas is the second leading rusher in Big 8 history. Had he not suffered a knee injury, he would have been ahead of Rozier. Michael Rozier, the leader.
This is excellent running. He takes the ball outside and then turns it up the field, and he's not through yet. He's got that instant acceleration that he's able to stop and then get back going at full speed within 1 or 2 steps. That was an 18-yard gain there with Thurman Thomas. He's got 10 rushes for 92 yards already.
Man. 1 of 30 yards, a work of art for a touchdown. The Bills' second score.
I think he's getting oxygen now on the sideline.
While he's out, they go back to Kenneth Davis, and he can run. A former Green Bay Packer who came here as a Plan B free agent. He gets the ball to the 37-yard line. Hugh Green, number 55, got him for the Dolphins.
Hugh Green, the heart and soul of this defense, and Hugh Green, you see him taking on a blocker, just trying to read the play, sheds the blocker, and then makes the tackle on Kenneth Davis. You know, when you're sitting on the sideline and you got a guy in front of you, like Thurman Thomas having a great day, you just can't wait to get in because you think you can do some of the same things that Thurman Thomas is doing. I think I can do it sitting there watching. I know that's not right.
He makes it look easy. Kennebrew on second down and 5 gets ahead for a couple of yards. Offensive line coach for the Bills, Coach Bresnahan. Tom Bresnahan. There he is on the sidelines. It was widely reported here that Bresnahan and another assistant, Nick Nicolau, got in there's Nick on the right, into a slugfest, into the best of friends. We don't know what happened in that tape room when they were watching game films, but it's over and forgotten.
This is football. I mean, things like that happen a lot of times. I mean, they've blown it way out of proportion. Fights happen all the time in professional football, probably at every level.
Here's Wright, long ball downfield. Beebe trying to run under it. Knocked out of bounds at the 27-yard line. The sprinter, Don Beebe, the Bills' top choice this year. He was picked in the 3rd round. They haven't had number 1 choices the past 2 years, and they didn't have a 1 or a 2 this year because of the Cornelius Bennett trade.
When you have a guy that runs 4.2, you just set him out there and say, run down there as far as you can, and we'll throw it as far as we can and see if we can come up with a... Oh, he ran out of bounds, but, you know, you just take a chance. You got a guy 4.2, let him run. See if we can get a big one.
It was still almost a good catch, even if it was out of bounds.
That's right. That would have been one that you've been talking about over dinner tonight, even though it didn't count.
Schwade's back in the lineup, and here is a tremendous punt by John Kidd. And Scott Schwade's lets it hop. It takes a Bills roll, and they're going to down the ball inside the 15-yard line. So John Kidd hits a beauty, and instead of hopping into the end zone, that 48-yarder takes a jump back, and the Bills down it. Miami keeps the Bills from scoring this time, but now the Dolphins and Marino have the long field to go. Of course, easy goer to run again against Sunday Silence. 7 races, $10 million in prize money from beautiful Gulfstream in Allendale, Florida. There's a sack of Dan Marino. They get him, and the streak ends. Jeff Wright was almost a safety as Dan Marino is sacked for the first time in 20 games. Jeff Wright, a second-year nose tackle, who the Bills think is going to be a star eventually, drafted in the 8th round from Central Missouri.
Jeff Wright, number 91, just powers over the middle. Marino holding the ball a little bit long, can't find anybody open. Jeff Wright does something that no one has been able to do in 19 games. And I talked to Roy Foster, one of the guys on the offensive line of Miami. He said the pressure was nobody wanted to be their guy that made the sack. But once they get it over with, they can relax and go on and play now.
Well, whether they got help from on high, we don't know, but Jeff Wright was there. The last time he was sacked prior to this was back in September of 1988. Wayne Bickett of the Indianapolis Colts was the first to get him with O'Brien Alston. And now Jeff Wright in the 20th game since then gets him as a Dolphin in repose there.
He has a reason to celebrate because he sacked him, but let's be realistic. Dan Marino here been sacked 2 times in 20 games. I mean, that's not a big deal.
Even more impressive amount is the fact that's the first sack of Dan Marino in almost 800 passes.
And that's,
over 770 passes between sacks, pass attempts.
And that's as far as you can take it, Don. It's a nice thing to get your line fired up to try to get him once, but get him 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I think what you were saying earlier about that hurry, he's a little bit more cautious just dumping it off with those very quick Bill linebackers back in zone coverage. He eluded a sack earlier, but he threw the ball to Cornelius Bennett, and the Bills turned it subsequently into a touchdown. 14-3, the Bills lead the Dolphins, and now Dan Marino and the Miami team up against it, positioned at their 1-yard line. Marino living dangerously, fires it out, and Smith has the ball. And Sammy Smith is out across the 10-yard line and very close to a first down. Dan Marino hit hard. Bruce Smith got to him.
Looked like Dan came down on his wrist. A lot of times you got those guys that weigh 260 pounds coming down on you. You got to watch the way you fall. There's Bruce Smith coming in. Can't hold off, and he tries to hold him up a little bit. He's trying to hold on to him, trying to let him fall on top of him, and Dan gets his wrist caught a little bit underneath.
Bruce Smith is absolutely unbelievable.
And a class act.
Yeah, he's a fun guy, boy. When he puts that helmet on, though, man, you're looking at a potential Hall of Famer here. Here he comes again. Marino again gets it away, though. And the Bills make the stop. Correctly, it was not a first down the previous throw because of the sack, and that was short of the first down also, so Miami will have to punt from deep in their own end as Darryl Talley comes up big for Buffalo and Coach Marv Levy. Reggie Roby ready to punt now at Rich Stadium, where the Bills lead the Dolphins 14-3. Roby hits it very well downfield in this warm, sunny day in western New York, and here comes Mickey Sutton running it back across the 30. Good special teams coverage by the Dolphins, but the Bills will have relatively good field position as they are now set to go 1st and 10 from outside their 35. Houston extends its lead over the Browns to 10-0 at Cleveland.
Taking that house of pain on the road, aren't they?
They are. After they beat the Bears at Chicago, Houston's going to be a force the rest of the way. Detroit with a 10-3 lead over the Packers at Green Bay. Bills with 1:48 to play in the first half, holding to a 14-3 lead. Reich sets up as they go to a 2-minute offense. First down and 10. Long ball. He's got Beebe out there. Beebe makes the catch. The fastest Bill is going to go the distance. He's in for a touchdown. 63 yards.
when you have 4.29 speed, like I said earlier, just throw it up there. You never know. Something good might happen. Just like this. Watch BB accelerate away once he catches that ball. There's nobody going to catch him. BB in there for the TD.
That's it. Boy, I'll tell you that. I guess he's legit with that under 4.3 speed.
So you never believe that till you see it.
From Chandran State. Not many guys can say that. They're from Chandran State. He's played high school ball outside Chicago. Very strong, small player.
Just a foot race. Once he gets by the bump here, it's all over with. And you got to give Frank Wright credit. This ball's right on the money, and he threw it so that BB could accelerate into the ball. BB, yeah, he'll remember this. This is one he can talk about over dinner tonight and be very happy about.
Forget that try out of bounds.
That's right. He said, you know, I almost had 2 today, but I got that 1.
He helped beat the Oilers at the Astrodome with a similar play. I think it was over 70 yards from Jim Kelly. That's his second TD throw and another on-the-mark strike by Frank Reich. His quarterback rating is almost 100. It's probably over 100 with his performance today so far. It was 98 coming in. He's been that good.
And he is so accurate. He's been so accurate today. His ball's right on the money.
And what does this do now, Ahmad, to the Miami Dolphins game plan? It looks like Marino's going to have to just start firing every down.
I think they're used to that. They've had that happen to them so many times. They get behind. They go back to what they do best, and that's throw the ball. And I'm sure that that's what Shula's saying right now. Trying to keep the guys calm, because at this point you don't want to panic. But with 1:39 left to go in the half, I think that Marino may work this clock as good as anybody in the league.
Dolphins drove the ball downfield after the opening kickoff and then hit on a 45-yard Pete Stoyanovich field goal to take a 3-0 lead. Since then, Buffalo's offense has come on like a deluge, building up a 21-3 lead. Scott Norwood is set to kick it off again as Good and Reeves are back again for Miami. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. Our producer today is Terry Ewert. Our director, Ted Nathanson. We have 1:39 to play in the first half at Rich Stadium. Sold out again. Over 80,000 as the Bills en route to leading the National Football League in attendance again. At halftime, we'll be going to Bob Costas and O.J. Simpson at NFL Live, with scores and highlights and a profile of the beleaguered Jet coach Joe Walton, who's under the gun. Fumble ball. Gary Good picks it up, and he's downed at the 20-yard line. Mickey Sutton, number 20, got to him. So the Bills cover well on special teams, and again, Marino has a long way to take his offense and not much time to do it. 1:37 to play in the first half.
It's amazing how star players set the tone.
Buffalo with an overwhelming margin on the scoreboard and in total offense amount.
Buffalo 222 yards, Miami 103.
Personal foul. Low block. Number 38 on the return. First down.
But the big numbers are on that scoreboard. Bills 21. The Fish 3.
Signs all over to squish the Fish. Willard Reeves, the new Dolphin, because of the injuries to some of their runners. Mark Logan is out. Troy Stratford's out for the season. Hugh Green wants something good to happen here.
Hugh Green trying to get his troops fired up. They're still in a game like this. They've got instant scoring power.
That's one thing. The Dolphins are never out of the game with a player like Marino. Marco's down, and Marino almost is, and now he says to Cornelius Bennett, the whistle blew, friend. We come in peace.
The offensive line was moving up and down like a typewriter that time.
Ball start. 61 offense. First down.
John Shula doesn't like those kinds of mistakes. See Roy Foster backing up a little bit, number 61. They're backing up a little bit before the snap of the ball. Sets them back a little bit, but this shouldn't bother them. It's a 5-yard penalty. They got 95 yards to go, so as opposed to 90.
Marino in the end zone. Here comes the rush. Marino with a lightning throw and a connection out to the 20-yard line. Very close to a first down. They'll be just short of it. 1:23 to play in the first half. 15-yard gain on the play. Don Criqui with Ahmad Rashad at Rich Stadium. Bills 21, Dolphins 3. Miami's Dan Marino, who saw his consecutive games without a sack end today when Jeff Wright got him a short time ago. Red Banks makes the reception, and the clock is stopped with 1:03 to play. Miami calling a timeout.
Leonard Smith there, the Warriors, slinging him down.
63 ticks left in the half. We'll be back in a moment. The ball is out to the 35-yard line, but the Bills are out in that deep zone. Will give that to Miami all day with little time and a long way to go.
The thing is about that, Marino will throw a couple of them over the middle, and next thing you know, he'll throw one down the field.
Incomplete pass stops the clock with 42 seconds to play.
I mentioned earlier about that heavy ball that weighs 3 times the weight of a normal ball. And Marino also uses that ball to warm up. So I'm sure that once he gets out there and throwing the ball that's the regular weight, that he can really whip that baby.
He passes with the extra.
Yeah, he warms up with it. He warms up throwing that ball real easy just to get his arm loosened up and strengthened.
We know it's strong. Bills corners come up tight, bump and run coverage. Here's another throw and a catch to Mark Clayton out to the 45-yard line with 36 seconds to play in the half. An 11-yard gain, but the clock is running. And the Bills are in the lead 21-3.
Don, a lot of times the reason you throw that ball over the middle, because you break one tackle, you're off to the races. That's where you get the big plays, over the middle.
Looked like a good play. Fred Banks on his knees makes the reception at the Bills' 46-yard line. And now Miami takes another timeout with 16 seconds to play.
Number 3.
Bills protecting against the long ball, but Ahmad, they're getting that intermediate range stuff downfield. They could be in position at least for a field goal.
Yeah, the trick is you just want to stay calm. You know, you don't want to. A lot of times guys are thinking, well, throw the ball to the sideline, get the ball and get out of bounds. But if you can throw the ball in the middle and just take up big chunks of yardage, the next thing you know, you're down in field goal range. And I think that's what Miami's trying to do. They want to get some points. And a lot of times when you throw the ball and you get it right by the sideline and you run out of bounds 3 times, the next thing you got to do is punt. But in this situation with Marino, you got to master at it, throw the ball over the middle, eat up a bunch of yards, and at least try to get 3 points out of the thing.
Marino's numbers looking impressive, 13 of 17, but that one critical throw he made that was intercepted by Cornelius Bennett was quickly turned into a touchdown, and really Reich, who's passed a limited number of times for the Bills, has hit the big throw. He hit a 63-yarder. Don Beebe for a touchdown to extend the Buffalo lead to 21-7. Second and short. Marino takes a look deep. Downfield throw. It's too high for Mark Clayton with John Hagee covering. Bruce Smith is getting there just as he releases the ball.
You know, they've had a chance to discuss a lot of things today. When they were standing on the sideline this morning before the game talking, I'm sure Marino thought that he wasn't going to see him that much during the course of the day. It's like, yeah, I like you, but man, give me a break. Watch Marino. As soon as he lets his ball go, Bruce Smith is right there on him. And Bruce is just letting him down easy if you can do that at 260 pounds.
He really is. He's showing some kindness when the ball's away. What was that you were saying about Bruce Smith? He lines up all over the field on different players.
And, you know, yeah, the thing is where the pressure is, they like to put Bruce Smith on the weakest lineman. So when you look up and see him, you know what they think about you.
They got a couple guys on him now. Here's a long ball. Men are open, but so are now the Bills recover. And it's tipped away in the end zone with 4 seconds to play. Andre Brown went high. Mark Kelso and Nate Odoms both were there to block it away. There's the free safety, Mark Kelso.
This is a play. On this ball, I just think that there's a chance for this ball to be caught. You got 3 Miami Dolphins around, but anytime you throw it up in the air like that, everybody panics and gets tight. You got to stay loose and go up there and really try to catch the ball. Odoms made a pretty nice play knocking it away. Comes over the top, number 37, knocks the ball away.
So So now the Dolphins on what will probably be the last play of the half for Coach Shula's team. Set up, 4th down and 2. 4 seconds to go. Marino looking for the end zone, shuffles it downfield. He gets it to Crash Jensen, and he takes on tacklers, and that will conclude the first half play. As again, Bruce Smith was a moment away from sacking Dan Marino. I don't know if Bruce Smith has ever played a better half, and he plays a lot of great ones.
The great players rise to the occasion, and that's what Bruce is doing.
It's 21-3 at halftime. Buffalo. Now let's go to NFL Live and Bob Costas. Bob? Dolphins kick it off. Kenneth Davis backpedals into the end zone. He'll bring it out. He's across the 10-yard line with a cutback move and a hard strike by the Dolphins. Coming down on special teams was Greg Clark from Arizona State, number 60, and also Brian Kinchin, number 88. So the Bills go on offense, 1st and 10, starting in rare deep field position. They started in very excellent field position most of their drives today.
A good old friend of mine, an old Dutch lady down in Miami named Hazel Prost, says that the reason the Dolphins are going to win it all because they have defense. They're going to have to show some defense right now to prove that statement.
Buffalo's been hitting with the whole offensive arsenal. Handoff goes to Thurman Thomas. This is a big part of it. 10 carries for 93 yards in the first half for Thurman Thomas. Averaging over 9 yards a carry. And of course, his 30-yard touchdown run, one of the hallmark plays of this season.
The offensive line like to block for a back like this because they know once they get on a block, they just ride the block and let Thurman Thomas make the decisions. You see Thurman getting inside the blockers and then bursting forward for that extra yard.
E.J. Jr., 54, was in, backing the line. Dave Aarons, Barry Krause, Hugh Green, the backers. Klein, Sauché, and Cross up front. They haven't sacked Frank Reich, the best sacking team in the American Conference. Here's a crossbuck. Quick slant on a 2nd down and 4 play, and that'll take the ball close to the 27-yard line.
That's the first time I've heard crossbuck in a long time. That was a crossbuck, too. Though when you get to the pros, they make it sound a little bit more confusing.
That's right. Quick XL slant trap.
That's right, which computes to a crossbuck, and here is that crossbuck. See Frank Reich turning around, hand that ball up to Big Brew, and he just pounds inside. Offerdahl in on the tackle first, and another host of Miami defenders.
George Harrison, those Decatur Staleys used to run that crossbuck, didn't they, Mud?
That's right. That's the first play I ever learned as a football player, the old crossbuck. And the last play I learned as a professional was the old crossbuck.
But you never played a lot of touch football?
No, not too much touch football. I mean, guys in my neighborhood, they touch. They didn't know what that was all about. Football, you tackle.
Equipment or not?
It's equipment? We didn't have any equipment. If you didn't want to play, they let those guys play basketball or something.
Right, very under control, plays within his limitations, always prepared. Levy says that's his greatest strength. Even in the previous 4 years when he wasn't playing, he was always ready to. Thurman Thomas runs the ball on 1st down, and he gets it out now close to the 32-yard line.
As a running back, when you watch films, you always want to critique yourself on what kind of decisions you make as a runner. When you see the opening, you got to go to it. Thurman Thomas makes great decisions every time he carries the ball. That last play was a play that was supposed to hit inside tackle. He dipped it outside and then took it right up the field and got a big gain on it.
Offerdahl getting a lot more playing time now. John Offerdahl, who was late reporting, is an inside backer now. Barry Krause, he's in for Aarons.
Shula said he's only had 4 days of practice.
On 2nd down and 5, the Dolphins do a better job stopping the run, and here comes a penalty marker thrown by the referee. Brian Sauché on the tackle. A holding call is signaled against the Bills. Buffalo with a noticeable lack of emotion to start the 3rd quarter after just this whole place was a frenzy in the first half. Got Kinnebrew for holding.
This is what the Buffalo team has to guard against. You can't come out and think you got this game won because you put 21 points up on the board, because you're playing against a Miami Dolphin team that can put points up in a hurry. You got to have half-to-half improvement to win any game, and if Buffalo doesn't come out, I guarantee you that Miami is sitting there ready to pounce on an opportunity.
Second down and 15 coming up now for the Buffalo Bills. The ball positioned at their 23-yard line. Bill Foley, the general manager of the Bills, was saying a nod to us at halftime. He thinks this could be the all-time Bills attendance. 80,500 tickets distributed. Here's a swing pass that goes to Thurman Thomas. He's across the 30, not done till he gets out to the 38-yard line. Very close to a first down on a second down play. It was second and 15, and he got 14 yards.
You can now understand how he kept Barry Sanders on the bench.
At Oklahoma State.
At Oklahoma
That's right,
State. He does it all well. He runs well out of the backfield. He catches well, and he can certainly turn it on once he starts in that secondary. He puts the fear into a secondary once he starts running with it because he breaks tackles so well.
Had a knee operation, and that's why he wasn't drafted in the first round, even though he had a great senior season after the knee operation. Bills really looked at him a number of times, had a lot of doctors check him. He's been flawless, bulletproof while he's been here. The knee's sound, and now the Bills go to the Kennebrew run on 3rd and short, and we'll see if he got there. The Dolphins come in. The linesman comes in. It looks like it might be close enough to measure.
Well, they put that sledgehammer offense in where they bring in Jamie Mueller, line him up at fullback, and boy, he's a load. This has got to be the sledgehammer defense. Offerdahl coming up trying to plug the hole, and Mueller just knocks him backwards, and Kennebrew does the rest. You have to just give yourself up. This one is for the boys. Jump up in there and take it.
That's right. Bruce Smith getting one of his hands. Both of his hands are well wrapped. The better to whack you with.
Yeah, it looks like a fighter. It looks like a boxer's tape job.
Handoff. Thurman Thomas dipping inside and out. And finally, he's thrown out of bounds by one of those B-2 bombers. Lewis Oliver, the free safety, got him. But the B-2 boys have not come into play a whole lot today.
No, they've kept them B-2 bombers out of the air today. Once again, an excellent decision by Thurman Thomas. He has the option of taking it outside or cutting it back in. He takes it inside, then cuts it back outside, and he's always going forward trying to get some extra yardage. And there you see Lewis Oliver. He just sort of laid him down. It looked, in fast motion, it looked like he slung him down, but he just laid him down.
Dolphin D, as you know, Ahmad, had 25 sacks already through the first 7 games. None today yet. They had 23 in 16 games a year ago.
They won't get many today if Buffalo's able to run the ball as well as they have been so far today.
Nobody to sack. 4 pass attempts. Kennebrew. Now here's the speed of a 260-pounder. Big Brew takes on people inside the 35-yard line. Oliver and Williams finally got to him, but Kennebrew at 260 pounds goes to the power run. There was nothing there. Then he kicks it into that other gear and goes 24 yards around right end.
Big Kennebrew. They have him. You see Offerdahl coming in, plugging the hole up, pushing Ken Hole back, number 67. Kennebrew resets and takes off. Now, remember, Don said he beat Herschel Walker in a 100-yard dash. That was quite a few years ago, but he still has some of that speed left. He says, I don't take the garbage out on Sunday morning. I run for yards.
He carries that skin, that pig skin. So the Bills get a first down on the 24-yard run by Larry Kennebrew. They had the ball for almost 5 minutes to open the 3rd quarter. Here is Thomas inside and out and back in, and not much there. Dolphins shut it down. Langford got him. As the game clock ticks down to 10 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Oilers looking to take a 1-game lead in the AFC Central, up on the favored Browns at Cleveland. Cincinnati and Tampa Bay with a lot of points at Cincinnati.
Tampa Bay putting the test on everybody they play. They used to be a doormat. All of a sudden, they've turned it around. They've beaten the Vikings already this year.
Right. They have. Second down and 8 arises for the Bills, who lead the game 21-3 in the 3rd quarter. Reich with only his 5th pass attempt. Too high and very nearly played on by the strong safety Jarvis Williams, but he couldn't quite get to the ball to intercept.
I was just getting ready to say that we have, wait a minute, this guy's got a bird's eye view. Jim Marshall used to have a plane like that, and he flew it over a high school field and slammed in some power wires one time. He just wasn't in the right place and broke his leg, his arm, and I'm sure that wasn't Jim in that thing.
You never know it, Jim.
You know, you're exactly right about that.
don't know what that thing is, but I don't want to be in it. It's flying about. 3rd down and 8 as Reich sets in the shotgun, and here comes the Miami rush. Reich steps in, and they get him. The Dolphins get their first sack of the day back at the 39-yard line. So the Bills are out of range of their field goal kicker, and they send out punter John Kidd.
Jeff Cross.
He's really been good. That's his 7th sack of the season for second-year man Jeff Cross.
He is really playing well, and he's been a surprise. They didn't expect this out of him. He just came to camp and said, I'm going to be one of the best in the league, and that's what he's been so far this year.
Put on 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason with a weightlifting program. 9th-round draft choice, playing like a first-rounder. The punt downfield is fair caught by Jarvis Williams. So the Dolphins finally get the ball in the second half with 8:57 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Whatever that thing is, biplane.
It's like something out of a Federico Fellini movie, some surrealistic contraption. Dolphins have not put up the points here at Rich Stadium. It's been tough for them in Buffalo as the Dolphins have been held to just a field goal today. And this crowd with the wave, the 80,000 plus as Marino takes a quick drop and an out pattern. The ball is dropped at the 15-yard line. Mark Duper had it right in his hands and lost it.
The thing about Duper is Marino has such confidence in him that you drop a ball like that, he'll come right back to him.
Exactly.
And that's the good thing about it. When you drop a ball, the thing you want is you want another one right away so that you don't have to really linger on that one that you dropped.
Dolphins trying to end a 5-game losing streak to Buffalo. And trying to avenge that heartbreaking opening day loss. Here's a run by Sammy Smith. But markers are down as Sammy Smith rips off a big gainer, but it'll probably come back. Cornelius Bennett finally caught him.
Yeah, when they throw that flag in that area, it's definitely holding. But I don't know how you block this Buffalo defense unless you hold them, rope them, something.
Holding. 61 offense. 2nd down.
Roy Foster, the left guard.
Does not like that call. Roy trying to block. Just pushing and pushing, and that's questionable. He was on Freddie Smerlas. You know, it's just such a fine line between a good block and holding. You got to just live right and hope that they don't call you for it.
It all comes down to getting caught. Farrell Edmonds with a big play takes on a free safety, Mark Kelso. So the Dolphins get the ball to their tight end, Farrell Edmonds, a big, fast target from Maryland, and it's good for a 30-yard gain.
Mark Kelso making a nice play on that ball. Edmonds, a big, rangy type tight end, was wide open down the middle of the field.
I think there was a marker down the end zone, Ahmad.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 78 defense. First down.
Bruce Smith isn't so cordial now.
No, Bruce taking a little loop. I think they call that a loop. He's in there on Marino. And it's a little bit too much. Marino had let the ball go, and Bruce Smith has been doing that the entire game. I think this is just a sign saying, Bruce, you've got to stop that. I think the first half of the game, a couple times Marino let the ball go, and Bruce Smith still grabbed him. But even if he's letting him down easy, they're throwing a flag now saying you can't do that.
So it's a first down and 10 at almost midfield. Marino sprinting out and throws a quick pass, good for a gain of close to 8 yards. He hit Mark Clayton. 8 minutes and 8 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Buffalo in the lead 21-3.
Nate Odoms with a very unorthodox defensive style. It looks like he can't come up out of that crouch, but he still covers extremely well. He's playing as good as any defensive back in the league this year.
They're getting good play from Kirby Jackson to him out, the free agent on the other side.
You know what makes those defensive backs better? Bruce Smith.
Yeah, that makes everybody better.
Anytime you can put pressure on the quarterback, it makes your job a lot easier. I missed a chance to talk about Mark Kelso. Mark Kelso went to William Mary, the tribe.
That's it.
That's what it is, the William and Mary tribe. There's Mark Kelso with that hat, kazoo hat on. He played for the tribe of William and Mary.
The reason he wears that extra liner on his helmet makes him look like one of the Coneheads from Saturday Night Live.
That's right.
He had a concussion, so there's an extra layer of foam rubber on top. Replay is checking that last catch to see if it had both feet in bounds. That stops the clock with 8:08 to play in the third quarter.
There's that helmet. Strange looking helmet. I tell you one thing, it makes Mark a lot taller.
Yes, it does.
Stature. Here's the play again that they're trying to take a look and see if Clayton was in bounds. Looks to me like he's got both feet in.
Not to me. I don't know.
After further review, the play stands.
Told you.
That's right. You've been doing that, though.
That's right.
You've had those feet in a few times.
That's right. Reputation goes a long way in some of these plays, too. Mark Clayton's an all-pro. An all-pro, they give it to you.
You had a chance to visit with Mark a long time at practice yesterday. He's in great form.
He is. That's my man. He's one of my favorite players in the league.
Sammy Smith tries to dip to the outside, but Art Still got him. Art Still, number 72, reaching out with the long arm. He's 6'7". They say you watch game films of Still, he seems like he's blocked and he starts heading down the line. All of a sudden, an arm reaches out and stops the runner.
He never ceases to amaze me. He's an incredible guy. He takes great care of his body. That's why he's been able to play so long and play at a very high level. He also has a friend that has a monkey who's a black belt in karate.
That I'd like to see.
I think he's going to bring it up for us next time we have this game done.
Downfield throw, and the connection is made to Mark Clayton inside the 40. He's running in the open field. He could go the distance. Mark Clayton takes it inside the 10, and he goes in. Touchdown, Miami. On a spectacular Marino to Clayton pass play that goes 44 yards.
44 yards touchdown.
Don Shula's trying to get his team fired up, and that's the way you do it. Marino to Clayton. You got to turn something. You got to turn nothing into something, and that's exactly what Clayton does here. This is just a routine catch. Breaks a tackle there, gets by Mark Kelso, and now he's off to the races. Now watch him break it over to the left to get rid of those people chasing from behind. Then he protects the ball before he goes into the end zone. He is an excellent, excellent wide receiver, one of the best in the business.
Now the point after try by Stoyanovich is up and good, and the Dolphins are right back in it. They're down by 11, but that's not a lot when you have Marino and Clayton. 7:19 to go in the third quarter. Denny Lynch of the Buffalo Bills, Ahmad, just handing us a sheet here that they've set a new single-game attendance record, 80,422. Tickets distributed, that's tickets sold. 214 did not show up.
I wonder where those people are.
Well, hopefully they're watching.
That's right. It's a great game.
Miami's back in it, though, on the 44-yard touchdown pass play from Marino to Clayton, and Kenneth Davis downs the Stoyanovich kickoff in the end zone. And the Bills will go on offense first and 10 at their 20.
This is the marks of a great receiver. A lot of receivers can catch, but what sets you apart from the other people is if you can run after the catch. Mark Clayton, Kirby Jackson missed him. Then he gets by Mark Kelso. Now watch him just start to weave a little bit to get away from everybody else. Nice move right there. Then he covers up the ball as he goes into the end zone. Mark Clayton.
Ever since we saw him beat Mark Gastineau in the weightlifting on the Superstars on NBC Sports World.
One of my favorite guys.
You know, this was a rare athlete. And smart. You see where he used that seal block off. He took Leon. Here's a handoff now going to Thurman Thomas, who is stuck at the line of scrimmage. So the big play on offense may have ignited the Miami defense, which has had trouble shutting down the run. Jeff Cross, 91, with a hard stick on Thurman Thomas.
Another note on Mark Clayton. He has such athletic ability. He can stand right underneath the basket and jump up and dunk two-handed.
Well, he goes over that. What is that? Tanner, how high is that wall they go over in the obstacle course?
10 feet.
He doesn't even use the rope. He just jumps up and catches the top of it. Hand off to Thurman Thomas, cutting back across the 20, and Thomas is out to the 31-yard line. On a second down and 11 play, he may have a first down. John Offerdahl knocked him down for the Dolphins. Squish the fish is the banner you see around Bill's Stadium, Rich Stadium.
Hugh Green, number 55. Thurman Thomas makes his play. Now, Hugh's got to protect Thurman Thomas from going outside, so he plays it all the way outside. Thurman cuts back up inside and still gets through for the first down. He is such a great... He makes all the blockers better because he utilizes blocking as well as anybody I've ever seen. I keep comparing him to Walter Payton, and if he plays long enough, he may be up in those numbers like Walter Payton.
Back to the run into Thurman Thomas. On a first down carry, he takes the ball out to the 35-yard line, and he also runs the clock. He kept that Miami defensive out on the field a long time today, this Buffalo running game.
Yeah, they're wearing him down, just pounding at him. And Thurman Thomas again. Now watch how he just sort of, you know, he's taking his time. He gets up in the hole and then turns on a little bit more speed. And when you just start pounding the ball all day at a defense, sooner or later they're going to get tired, and that's when the big run's going to go. Thurman Thomas, 17 carries, 138 yards, 128 yards. He'll be at 138 soon.
Career high already, and he's going to build on that with a long time to go. We're in the third quarter, 21-10 Bills. Hand off to Kennebrew. He breaks it, and Kennebrew takes on... Look at this. Unbelievable. He's down to the 24-yard line. Big Brew taking on people, and you don't hit him. He hits you with that hard right hand, that straight arm. 39 yards. Whoa, a face mask call. You're going to get Brew on it, I think.
On the run, he tried to stiff arm. Now, this is just a quick popper. That's another cross buck right there. Yep. Kennebrew just breaking into the secondary. Now, watch him switch the ball into his left hand. Oh, yeah, he's got a face mask.
Illegal hand. Number 28. First down.
Now, it looks like he got his face mask pulled also on the other end, but he was the first one to put his hand out and catch the Miami defender right by the face mask, and he let it go. And then on his way down, Louis Oliver caught Kennebrew's face mask. That was too late. You only get the first guy.
It was still good for a first down, though. The position of the ball is at the 44-yard line of Miami. A very important drive for both teams. If the Dolphins can stop the Bills and move it back on in there right down close in the game, if the Bills take it in, Miami will have an awful lot to overcome. It's Buffalo 21, Miami 10, 5:38 to play. Whoa, what is this? It might be a Miami fumble recovery. It is. Frank Reich lost the handle, bounced it off his knee, and all of a sudden this game may have turned. Marv Levy protesting. His arm was in the forward motion of throwing. They'll probably review it, Ahmad.
Marv Levy doing more than protesting. He's insisting that he was throwing the ball. His motion was going forward, but I don't think so. I think Frank Reich, I think his ball just slipped out of his hands. He was trying to stop the throw. He's looking downfield here, and as he goes forward, the ball, see, it's coming out of there now. That's a fumble right off of his knee.
Well, we'll be looking at this in detail when we come back to Rich Stadium in a moment.
Frank Reich here on this play actually lost the ball a couple of times. Now, as he goes to go forward, he's starting to lose it now. Then it touches his other hand, then off his knee.
I think his arm was coming forward.
Well, he started to lose the ball there. Then he tried to catch it again. Then it hit his knee.
That's a tough call.
I think it's a pretty good call by the refs.
Here's Marino going downfield, and it was almost intercepted by Darryl Talley, who had a free play on the ball but couldn't hold on, as Marino tried to get it out quickly to one of his runners, Ron Davenport, out of the backfield.
You'll see now why Darryl Talley is a linebacker. We get a replay of this shot. Boy, I'm telling you, that ball, I think it might have hit him in the face. He was like he was swatting flies. Ball coming right at him. Watch. Whap! Hit him right in the chest. But that's not his job. His job is to tackle people. He does that as good as anybody in the league.
As you always say, if they could catch it, they'd be playing offense, right?
That's exactly right. The guys can't catch you, put them on the defense.
Second down and 10. They go to the run. Sammy Smith looks for some room, and he finds some. And look at this man take it across the midfield line and down to the Bills' 49-yard line. Smith was caught. Then he broke away. Bernie Coast ran for a touchdown, and Cleveland rallies from behind. They were down 10-0 to Houston. Now they lead 14-10.
That house of pain looked like Cleveland took some aspirin.
How about they talk about Jerry Glanville getting bit by that snake? They said his enemies want to know what the condition snake was in. The house of pain. It's a state of mind, he says. We take it on the road.
But they've Excedrin up for him, look like, in Cleveland now.
3rd and 2 for Marino and the Dolphins. They go to Smith. And Smith looks like he might be there. He had to get down to the Bills' 47-yard line. Darryl Talley on the bottom of the pile again.
Cornelius Bennett signaling that he didn't get there, but I'm sure that's what he would say. Bruce Smith, they put him on the right side of that line. They got 2 people blocking on him, and he still gets penetration into that line and makes the tackle. He's the first one on the ball carrier.
Both sides like a measurement, though, don't they?
Yeah. You know what? When you get tired, you really want a measurement. Please measure it. Try to catch your breath. I knew guys you'd call for a measurement when it'd be like 3rd and 6, trying to get a breather.
Reminder to our viewers that we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game. The Dolphins didn't get there. It'll bring up 4th down and about a foot. So Coach Shula ready to make a decision. Offense is staying on the field.
When you're playing for first place, you got to go all out. Very good call by Don Shula.
What do you think we're going to see here tonight?
I think we're going to see that old crossbuck.
Old crossbuck.
You got to go. This is just a test. This is all right. You're a football player. You mean you can't get 1 yard? Everybody's pride's on the line and the backs.
Hand off to Smith, and he's stuck. The Bills think they stopped him. We'll see. The Bills are certain they did. Bruce Smith made the stick. We'll see where they stop the ball. So the Buffalo defense rises like Bruce Smith.
Bruce Smith stalking the field.
We're talking about the real thing right there, sports fans. Coach Shula has seen a lot of great ones.
And it's a good call by Shula. You got to go for that. But Bruce Smith says it's a challenge for me, too.
They lost about almost a yard.
Bruce Smith broke through that offensive line and made the tackle in the backfield. Here you see Bruce just taking a step to the side. Look, he's waiting for Sammy Smith. Smith on Smith. And Bruce now with a little dance there.
They say that acting after the play will keep you out of the Pro Bowl, but he'll be there.
Bruce Smith making an excellent play. Steps to the right side of Jeff Dellenbach, gets into the backfield, and catches Sammy Smith before he's even able to jump.
So the Bills defense gives the Buffalo offense excellent field position, and they go to the run. Here's Thurman Thomas breaking into the Miami defense on a first down carry. He's down to the 47-yard line. Bruce Smith, a game ball winner last week, along with the offensive linemen of the Bills, because they ran the ball so well against the Jets. They ran 52 times against the Jets last week. They could run 50 times against the Dolphins today. They're in the 30s now, well into the 30s.
Bruce, my man, I've run out of things to say about you, babe. He is just awesome.
To say the least. An overpowering force. Now it is 2nd down and 5 for Buffalo. And off to Kennebrew. He finds some room. Dolphins hitting hard on the ball, but they can't free it. And it's a dance now to the 43-yard line. Fans of the Miami Hurricane may remember Frank Reich back in '84. He quarterbacked the University of Maryland against Miami in one of the greatest comebacks in college football history. The Canes led 31-0 at the half. Reich came in the 3rd quarter, quarterbacked 6 straight scoring drives. And this was a Miami team quarterbacked by Bernie Kosar the season after they won the national championship. And Maryland came back that day to win from 31-0 to win 42-40 behind Reich. He was then drafted in the 3rd round by the Bills, played virtually not at all his first 4 years in the league because of the injury to Jim Kelly getting his shot as Thurman Thomas runs on 3rd and short, and it looks like he has a Bills first down. William Judson makes the tackle for Miami.
He has such great cutback ability. On this play right, this is a play for no yardage. Watch Thurman Thomas as he stretches the play towards the sideline and then breaks it back up for the first down. Right inside Judson, and then still powers his way to the first down. That is excellent running. Such an unassuming young man. Run into him in the parking lot, you might wonder what he does.
He does everything on the field. He runs, he catches, he blocks, picks up blitzes.
And he gets a bag of popcorn for me today.
For sure. 1st and 10. This is Kenneth Davis in the game. He can cut back. On 1st down, he takes it close to the 38-yard line. Dolphins giving up the rush yardage much more grudgingly now in the 3rd quarter, which is slowly winding out. We're down to 148 and running in the 3rd quarter. Oilers come back to score, and they lead the Browns 17-14.
Running backs love to play behind this sort of an offensive scheme because, like I said before, the offensive line, they just get on the people in front of them and push them whichever way they want to go and let the back do all the cutting. And they've got a couple of cutback runners that are extraordinary. Extraordinary.
Whatever. They're right on both counts. And now the handoff goes to Thurman Thomas. Turning the corner on 2nd down, and good defense. Coming up to make the play was the rookie free safety, Lewis Oliver. Probably the biggest free safety in the NFL at 6'2", 225.
One of the strongest also. Andre Reed is a guy that we have not heard much from today. He had a nice little cutback block there, but he hadn't caught many passes, if he's caught any.
I don't think he has a catch all day, Ahmad. As you look at the schedule next Sunday on NBC Sports, NFL Live at 12:30. The Dolphins will be home to play the Indianapolis Colts. Buffalo goes to Atlanta for an interconference game. Cleveland at Tampa Bay, and then the doubleheaders, the Steelers and the Broncos at Denver, or the Bengals and the Raiders at Los Angeles. Next Sunday on NBC Sports. 3rd down and 5 as Reich stands in, gets time, throws and makes the connection. But the Miami defense is there to shut it down well short of the first down. Jarvis Williams, the strong safety, made the play on Flip Johnson, and you're right, Ahmad. He does not have a catch today. Andre Reed, leading catcher in the American Conference, coming in with 48.
Nice catch by Flip Johnson, just short of the first down.
Live action now as we go to John Kidd, ready to place a punt. He's good at getting it down inside the 20. We'll see how this goes. He gets it out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Buffalo Bills and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, of the Buffalo Bills, and the Miami Dolphins, all rights reserved. Good punt. As the ball now will be spotted 1st and 10 on the 13-yard line of Miami. Dolphins have the only score of the 2nd half. That spectacular 44-yard touchdown throw, Marino to Mark Clayton. Bills led 21-3 at the half. Marino, as the blitz comes, and he gets the ball to Ron Davenport, who breaks one tackle and gets ahead for a gain of close to 7 yards. Carlton Bailey, number 54, and Nate Odoms combined on the tackle for the Bills, but the Dolphins get passing yardage on the play.
It's kind of neat to watch Marino pointing out everybody that they should block. Watch him just step inside of a possible sack right there and lets the ball go. They say one of the reasons that Marino doesn't get sacked, that he knows where everybody's coming from at all times and is able to avoid it.
Will conclude 3 quarters of play. So the Dolphins bring it closer. It's 21-10 Buffalo at the end of 3. 21-10, Bills in the lead as we start the fourth quarter. Don Criqui with Ahmad Rashad. When you come to the Buff, you have to have some of these. This is the local fare, the fabled Buffalo chicken wing.
That's right. They got them all over the country at every restaurant you go to, but not like the ones they have here in Buffalo. They got the mild sauce. They got the hot sauce. They got the, let me try some of these bad boys. Don,
I'm sick of them. We've had so many of these. They're delicious, but we've eaten a lot of wings on our last 2 weekends in Buffalo. Coach Shula told his players when they were all heading out for wings after practice, guys, go to the mild sauce, please. He didn't want any late night distress on his team.
And the wing they're counting on right now is Dan Marino's right wing. They want to get back in this football game. It's possible to talk with a chicken wing in your mouth.
I tell you, we've eaten a lot of wings. They're great. Used to be an appendage of the chicken amount that they threw away up here. Some genius put hot sauce on it and cooked it a certain way.
Our own Paul McGuire claims he's responsible for it.
He's not, but he sold a lot of them in the fabled bistro that he had here. That was between when he was a player and before he was a television star.
That's where the weight came from.
Here's Marino. Quick out to Davenport. Lost the handle at the 28-yard line. Third down play. It was a critical one. Miami will have to punt it here. I'll tell you one thing, as the Dolphin fans all know, this team is never out of the game. Maybe they're out of the Houston game when they got buried 38-7.
Miami with just a little fake throws it right up. Perfect throw to Davenport. It's a play you got to make. That's a big play. You got to make the big plays. Turn something into, turn nothing into something. Well, Dan's a little upset. Maybe a lot upset.
Miami working without starting 2 runners. Troy Stratford out for the season. He was having a terrific year, knee surgery. Mark Logan is also out for probably 6 weeks. The punt is fielded for Buffalo by Mickey Sutton at the 41-yard line. With 14:03 to play in the game, and the Bills leading the Dolphins 21-10.
Buffalo Bills wide receiver Andre Reed.
We'll be right back to Rich Stadium after these messages from your local station. Bills go to the run as Kennebrew takes it to the 45-yard line where Opperdahl knocked him down. Rushing today, there's Ronnie Harmon, who will not play again today, was injured in the first quarter. That shoulder injury you talked about, Ahmad.
Ronnie looking rather dapper.
Yeah, he got the lid. He gets the hat award.
That lid, nice earring.
Bills have rushed the ball 38 times today for over 240 yards, averaging 6.5 yards a carry. Miami has only 47 yards rushing, 2.7 a carry. But they have the passing game. Here's a throw and a catch to McKellar. He's in open field and crashes down to the 33-yard line. Lewis Oliver makes the tackle.
This is what you can do when you have a running game that makes those linebackers come up and play very close to the line of scrimmage. They're right almost on the line of scrimmage. McKellar with just a little crossing pattern catches the ball and shows he can run pretty well too. B-52 Bombers. Oliver comes up there and makes the stop. Keller, 2 receptions for 36 yards, and very big receptions.
Yes, they have been.
They always come at a time when you catch those Miami linebackers up on the line of scrimmage trying to stop Kennebrew and Thomas.
Bills have built this team with very astute drafting. They got McKellar in the 9th round out of McNeese State 2 years ago. They think he could be a standout. Tremendous speed for a tight end. Thurman Thomas looking for room to weave. Dolphin linebackers pursuing down the line. They cut him down after a gain of about 4. Ernie Kosar just threw a 77-yard touchdown pass to Webster Slaughter. The Browns have come from behind to lead the Oilers 21-17. Big divisional game in the AFC East. New England rallies now and has tied the Colts at Indianapolis 10-10.
This Buffalo Bill team is really showing that they are a great football team, even without Kelly and Shane Conlon.
Yeah, now they've got 2 top players, 2 Pro Bowl players. Shane Conlon, a first-team All-Pro inside backer. He's been out for 6 weeks now. He's ready to come back after a knee strain.
There he is.
There he is. This is some player. Penn State.
Pretty good basketball player, too. I saw him down at the Superstars a couple years ago, and he can shoot the jumper.
Grew up in Frewsburg, New York, nearby to Rich Stadium. Played a high school playoff game here. he's some player, Shane Conlon.
A lot of range. They say that he makes the great plays. It's like almost they set the table for him, and he comes and just takes it off.
Impact tackler. Talk about his thunderous hits game after game. He stops the run. Now the Bills call a timeout. Reich has been counseled when they're in down close. When you see the defense, he's not certain of what to go against. With to call timeout and get some counsel, and he does that as Shula looks on. He had the Wright brothers up there earlier in some kind of a bicycle contraption flying. Now the bat is in the stands. And the Bills have third down and about 3 coming out. Thurman Thomas the setback. Thurman Thomas gets the ball. And Miami's defense finally gets Thurman Thomas to knock him down on a third down try. And now a long field goal try will be coming up. Scott Norwood is coming out. He's been a Pro Bowl kicker. He was in the Pro Bowl last January. He's hit 10 of 13 field goals this year.
Thurman Thomas, one of the few times today that they've been able to contain him. They haven't been able to do it much. He's already got 138 yards.
45-yarder. Normally at this time of year, wind is very much a factor in this part of western New York. There's virtually no wind today. Dolphins got an upset victory before the game. The weather, no wind, unseasonably warm. There's the field goal try on the way and right through the middle. So Norwood pops one from 35, and with 10:22 to play in the ball game, the Bills get their first points of the second half. And they take a 24-10 lead.
As the fans go crazy singing, the Bills make you want to shout.
Next Sunday, join NBC Sports for an exciting NFL doubleheader beginning at 12:30 Eastern with NFL Live. Some of you will see Eric Dickerson and the Colts head south to Miami to face Dan Marino and the Dolphins. Others will see the Bills battle the Falcons at Atlanta. In the second half, the Steelers go to Denver to meet Elway and the Broncos. Plus, Cincinnati will be at Los Angeles as a second game in some parts of the country against the Raiders. Check local listings for the games in your area.
You know, Don, a very interesting stat was, I guess it wasn't a very interesting stat.
A very good statistician, Larry Pollock, wants to review it. We thought we had the first 100-yard rushers for the first time in one game for Buffalo since 1973 when the Juice and Bubby Braxton both were over 100.
The 45-yard field goal just completed by Scott.
It's still interesting. Even if it's wrong, it was interesting.
But we know that Thurman Thomas is way over 100, and the big man, Larry Kinnebrew, is very close to 100.
Yeah, a lot of times you throw them stats from that long ago, nobody knows.
Listen, one thing about our business, you never let the facts get in the way of a good story. Something you have to learn early in this business. Sam Jankovich taught me that out at the University of Miami.
Sam Jankovich recruited me out of high school to Washington State.
Yeah, he coached there. The Canes will be back. Took a tough one last night. A great win for Coach Bowden and the Seminoles, as running it back is Willard Reeves. He gets it across the 20 and out to the 23.
With a kickoff return. Sutton and Bailey make a stop.
Well, it gets a little heated down there at this point.
That's going to happen.
Butch Rowe got a nice little left hook in on that little exchange right there, but when you get a left hook to the left side of the helmet, the only thing that hurts is your hand.
Has he been banned? At any rate, the Dolphins go on offense, and Marino will be firing with the great wideouts, Clayton and Duper, ready to run those deep patterns. Here's Marino looking out, swings it out, and it's tipped away by Bruce Smith. He couldn't do something wrong if he tried today. He sticks a hand in the air and he almost intercepts.
The only thing Bruce Smith hasn't done today is sell popcorn up in the stands, because he's done everything else. Knock balls down, hurried throws. Bruce Smith, watch him come in putting pressure in, try to throw over him, he knocks the ball down. Hold the ball too long, he tackles you. You try to run the ball, he makes the tackle. Two-time Pro Bowl selection. I guarantee he's on his way to his third time.
2nd and 10, and they'll get him. Cornelius Bennett. 23 years old. Last year, in his first full season in the NFL, he was a consensus first-team All-Pro. From the Crimson Tide of Alabama, Cornelius Bennett.
They have sacked Marino 2 times a day, but Cornelius Bennett, you know, you don't hear about him for a long time because you know everybody's running away from him, but he's relentless. And right here, he shows that, hey, sooner or later, I'm going to get you.
You can pay me now or pay me later.
But you're going to pay sometime. Biscuit, Cornelius Bennett.
Snap to Marino. He's in trouble again. Dan Marino on the run. Dan Marino wants to be sure that pursuer knew that the whistle had blown. Jeff Wright, the man who ended the sackless streak, was almost at him again. Jim Jensen was another who said, we didn't even enjoy our win over Green Bay because we were looking so much to beating Buffalo.
A lot of times, all that lip service backfires on you. Once again, Cornelius Bennett just coming at Marino. Marino tries to step up in the pocket, and Bennett gets the sack. But none of that talk doesn't help. I mean, you can talk as long as you want to. It doesn't bother anybody either. I mean, guys can say whatever they want. Once the game starts, then that's where you do your talking. And it always makes you upset when some guy says we. It's like we.
I'm going to get you, won't we, fellas? Marino, 3rd down and 21. In trouble again, and Marino sidearms the ball. It's incomplete at the 35. A masterful effort by Marino just to get it away. He had almost made a connection to Mark Clayton as the Bills were on him again. Cornelius Bennett and Bruce Smith, the All-Pros. Look at Smith.
Dan Marino showing his mobility. He steps up inside the rush. Watch Bruce Smith still coming down on 78, and he gets him just as he lets that ball go. Once again, Marino showing that he's going to throw it some kind of way. Here comes Bruce Smith, and he just gets it away. Almost completed to Mark Clayton, but almost all that does is bring in your punter on.
Roby in the end zone. One hop snap, but Roby gets it away. Hits a line drive downfield that Sutton will return from his 46. And he's down to the Miami 45-yard line. Clifford Hobley on the tackle for the Dolphins as players have to be separated after the kick return. And there's a penalty marker down with 9:12 to play in the game.
Well, all that old pushing and shoving doesn't do anything. It almost looks silly, you know, you're pushing and shoving, and you know, you're pushing and shoving, you're about to get a guy, and then a 150-pound referee pushes you apart.
Call's going to be against the Dolphins. Bills extending their lead in the second half after the Dolphins got close.
Personal foul, face mask, number 34, kicking team. It's declined. First down.
34, New Ufaola.
This is the old chicken fighting, is what old Bud Grant used to call that. Yeah, chicken fight, pushing him chicken.
And there's a timeout as Nuu goes to the sideline.
Well, the only way that you can cool down Bruce Smith is you do this, throw water in his face, but I dare you to do it, Don.
No, I'm not going to do that. The enforcer. First down and 10. Bills with the ball. Thurman Thomas takes it across midfield.
Thurman Thomas.
John Bosa, who the Dolphins are waiting for a big return from, the #1 draft choice 3 years ago out of Boston College, who was out a full year. He was injured in October of '88. Knee reconstruction, just getting back into form. Cleveland, after trailing 10-0, now extends its lead to 28-17 over Houston, so the Browns in position to lead the division along with the Bengals. AFC Central.
Cincinnati back on track, Don. 42 points they put up.
Yeah, they were down early. Bills leading 24-10. 8:29 to play in the game. Second down and 8. Back to Thurman Thomas, who has a career rushing day as he extends his yardage every carry. Best production of his career, and he's had some tremendous days.
He is just lightning quick. He finds a crack, and his ability to accelerate through the hole is just phenomenal. You don't have to have a big hole for him to get through. Watch here. He makes a decision and just bolts through there.
Nice numbers, Ahmad.
24 rushes, 144 yards. He's averaging 6 yards a carry. 1 touchdown.
We want to send congratulations and best wishes to our unit manager, Kimmy Pontillo, who was recently married.
Who's the lucky guy?
There was an attorney named Bill Collins who took her golfing, didn't he, on her honeymoon? They went to Scotland to play golf. And she knows what she's in for.
She can handle it.
Third down and short. They go to Kennebrew, and he can't quite get there. Big call now for the Bills. They're out of range for Norwood, leading by 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points. 14-point lead. Game clock running.
These fans here have suffered so long at the defeat of Miami that they're begging to pour it on.
Oh, for the 70s. Lost 20 straight games in the 70s to Miami.
One of my biggest highlights, I played here for the Bills for a couple years. We could never beat Miami. And when I went to Minnesota and we beat Miami, I celebrated much more than everybody on the team. They couldn't understand why. It was that because we finally beat the Dolphins.
Even if you were wearing purple.
That's right.
Beat the traffic congestion to Rich Stadium. Catch the Buffalo Bills Express bus.
Coach Levy and the Bills going to talk this thing over. I tell you, there's a very good feeling in this organization. I mean, it's a very together group. I don't know.
It really is. It's a family atmosphere, and you got to have that if you're going to have any success in the National Football League. Somehow it has to revert back to the way you were in high school, where you care about all the guys. That's why they can have a fight between the coaches. It doesn't bother them. They just keep right on going. It's nothing that they're going to just all of a sudden blow up and say, oh, boy, we got dissension, we got problems. They got nothing but a good football team, and they're headed in the right direction.
Tonight on NBC, the Call of the Wild is for help when the magical world of Disney presents Ernest Goes to Camp, followed by the no-nonsense comedy of Sister Kate. And a lady grappler puts the move on one of my 2 dads. Then 227's Jackie will double your pleasure. An NBC world premiere movie that's tonight only on NBC.
Was that your line, no nonsense?
It was written there. Some genius at 30 Rock. 4th down and 2. 2 fullbacks in the game. They're waiting for Miami to jump, and they didn't do it. These Dolphins are well schooled. They're one of the least penalized teams in the NFL every year. Usually the least penalized.
Don Shula does not stand for mistakes. You make a lot of mistakes on Shula's team, you make them somewhere else.
I'll tell you, the coach looking good. He's approaching 60. He's not aging. Although any more of those 6 and 10 years will he's not looking for those. This was a turning point last year. The Dolphins, through 7 games, were 4-3 in '88. Then they lost 7 of their last 9 to finish 6 and 10. And of course, they're 4-3 coming into this game, having won 3 in a row. Dug a deep hole early. They were down with a 1-3 record. Scott Schwades is back deep now, along with Jarvis Williams. Kidd stands in, hits a high punt. Well placed. It forces Schwades into a fair catch at the 9-yard line. Scott Schwades from Syracuse coming off the injury list. Back in action, a 33-yard punt by Kidd, and no return, as you see. The Dolphins down 24-14, or 24-10. Miami down by 14 points with 6:56 to play. The Bears start to get it together. Now they lead the Rams 17-3. New England has taken a 3-point lead on the Colts. If that ever held up and Buffalo beat Miami, the Bills would have a 2-game lead in the AFC East heading into the second half of the season. There's those big numbers by the Bengals you're talking about, Ahmad. Cincinnati with 42 points. Marino on 1st down just gets it away, and it's a bit high, as Dan Marino is under pressure every single throw. Bruce Smith got him again. He took out the tackle also. Ronnie Lee, he's banged up.
It's not so much in sacking Dan Marino, but just putting pressure on him. Anytime that you hit a guy, every time he throws the ball, it takes a toll. I mean, Marino, although he's only been sacked twice today, he's been on the ground numerous times. I mean, I don't know if there's any difference. I guess you get a sack in the sack column, but if you knock the quarterback down every single time, it doesn't make any difference to him. He's getting knocked down nonetheless.
So Ronnie Lee is attended to by the Dolphin trainer. Louis Cheek will come in.
Spectators are reminded that it is unlawful.
The Dolphins will be back home at Joe Robbie Stadium next Sunday to play the Indianapolis Colts, who at the moment are losing to New England 13-10 at Indianapolis. Now we're told this is the 6th time in Bill's history that 2 backs have rushed for 100 yards in one game.
I knew it would become interesting sooner or later.
You have a long list of Dolphins when they had Kick and Zonka. Scheduling seems to be with the Dolphins the rest of the way. The Colts at home, then they play the Jets in New Jersey. The Jets at the moment get arrested.
Neither can Dallas.
They couldn't score against a strong wind the way they're playing lately. And Dallas doesn't win at all. Marino under pressure as Bennett came hard on a blitz, and Dan Marino had to trigger his throw early.
A lot of their pass plays are timing routes that Dan has to make a decision and fire it and hope that the receiver makes the same decision. That one just misfired a little bit.
Bills go to Atlanta, home to play the Colts, and at New England. Then they come home Thanksgiving weekend to play Cincinnati. Tough one at Seattle. New Orleans here. New Orleans is coming team right now. Then at the 49ers. Finally at the Jets.
When you're playing well like the Bills, it doesn't matter who you play.
Here's Marino on a sprint out on 3rd down and 10. Throwing a catch to Clayton, and he's ahead for a 1st down. And finally stuck hard by the Warrior. Warrior's selling those T-shirts around.
He's got those T-shirts with a feather. He got a feather in the back of his hat that he wears. He said he used to chase down seagulls at training camp and pluck a feather, and he just wore it every day at practice, and he always has a feather now and T-shirts.
Some serious speed chasing down those gulls.
That's right.
They were flying when he got them.
That's a leaping ability.
Nate Odoms, one of the Bills' best defenders, banged up. Young player from Wisconsin having a tremendous season. 3 interceptions already, but his coverage has been among the, you were pointing out, there's this better cover guy right now in the conference.
Now he's playing so well. You know, you think you can beat him because he's got that unorthodox style. As soon as you try, that's when he starts knocking balls down.
Now a 5'7", 160-pound corner is in against him, and that's where Marino will probably be going. He's taking Duper. The lower portion of the screen, his name is Chris Hale, but he can dunk a basketball. Here's Marino sprinting out, looking downfield, directing traffic, and throws the ball away wisely as Art Still was in pursuit of Dan Marino. 5:58 to play in the game. The Bills lead it 24-10.
Art Still, very quiet, very efficient, and constantly attacking that quarterback. He says the thing he likes about Walt Corey is he doesn't try to coach us too much. He just turns us loose and lets us play. You know, he lets us play. You don't want to confuse anybody on the defense. If they know exactly what they're supposed to do, then their production goes way up. It's a lot of those defenses where you got 18 different kinds of sets that guys make a lot of mistakes. Walt Corey doesn't believe in that.
Well, he believes in this defense, gives him reason to believe. And here's a downfield throw and a catch at the 40-yard line on 2nd down and 10. Good for a 1st down. Andre Brown, a free agent from Miami of Florida, turns in and makes a 14-yard reception.
In situations like this, it's much easier to catch that ball over the middle. Nice move by Brown. Gets inside the cornerback. Ball's right on time.
Picked off by Kirby Jackson. Was he inbounds? He was. It's a Buffalo interception of Dan Marino by Kirby Jackson, who's quite a story. He was a 5th-round draft choice of the Jets, who cut him. Bills picked him up as a free agent. Derek Burrows, one of their best, went out with an injury. And Kirby Jackson has played superior football as he does in this play. Let's see if he gets feet in. He does. The official right there says it's an interception.
You see the Dolphins pointing at he was out of bounds, but it was an excellent break on the ball by Kirby Jackson. Tom Olivadotti. Dan Marino a little bit upset. He expects those receivers to come back to the ball. You don't come back to the ball, it causes an interception.
Our spotters, Michael Gluck and Pete Fearley. It was Andre Brown, the intended receiver. Now the Bills will go to the run as they put it in the arms of their fullback, Kennebrew, and he takes on tacklers down to the 36-yard line. Jeff Cross tackled him, but the Bills now in possession of this game as long as they can run the ball and keep it away from Marino.
Their offense is just awesome. They pound that ball and pound that ball away from you. The moment you bring those linebackers back, they hit the tight end right behind the line of scrimmage, and they just keep coming at you. I think when you have a guy like Thurman Thomas constantly putting pressure, it's very hard to contain that Buffalo offense.
Kennebrew got 77 last week, Ahmad. He's up that this week.
18 rushes, 110 yards, and Lewis Oliver limping out a little bit. And if you give Brew the ball 18 times, 20 times in a game, you're going to get a lot of people limping out of the game because he really brings it when he carries it.
Bills, Ahmad, now have their run total up to 45 rushes in this game.
And Don Shula used to do this with Larry Zonka to everybody in the league. They brought that running game in here, and they just pounded you and pounded you and pounded you, and there's really nothing you can do. You can't keep the ball very long, and anytime you make a mistake, you give it back to an offense that's just going to pound it and get those long drives again.
There was some offense, wasn't it? Old Chicken Little out in front.
Yeah.
Reese gives his Zonk.
Kick, Murphy Morris.
Kennebrew runs the ball inside the 35-yard line. Harvey Green of the Dolphins was pointing out yesterday the prolific touchdown production of Dan Marino, and Greasy, who's probably going to be a Hall of Famer, hasn't been voted in yet, but he passed his career touchdown mark in less than half the time.
Now that's an excellent stat. Excellent stat.
Yes, we see that. Our producer's telling us we see a fight, and we see it right there.
That's not much of a fight. It looks like a pushing match to me. It's absolutely nothing. You end up getting a penalty or getting yourself hurt. We'll back you up over the pile.
Greasy played 14 years. This is just the 7th season for Marino, and he's over 200 touchdown passes. Nobody in football's ever come close to that production.
I have never seen anybody with the release, with the accuracy, and I saw Joe Namath play many times, but Dan Marino is just in a class by himself. And, you know, he's had so much pressure on him. He's had to do it all by himself the last few years. All the numbers he's racked up, he's done it without a defense. And he's such a competitive guy. You know, you get those kind of numbers, they mean nothing. He wants to win a football game. That's why those interceptions don't bother him. It's like, I'm trying to win a game. You know, I'm not concerned about my statistics. I'm trying to get out here and win a doggone game.
Put it up 35 times a day. The Bills have sacked him twice. And very nearly a lot more than that. They've forced a lot of errant throws. 2nd down and 9 coming up. End up to Kennebrew. And he's out of bounds at the 25-yard line, stopping the clock with 3:23 to play.
Boy, a nightmare for a cornerback is when you got the wide receiver blocking on you, and you know that if you shed that block by the wide receiver, here comes a 260-pounder going about 9'9" right at you. That's when you want to, you know, you want to stay on the block.
Look at that.
48 rushes, 8 passes.
8 passes. That's some graphic.
It really is. The other graphic is 24-10.
Yeah. That's the one they pay off on.
That's right.
Throw up the middle, and it's behind Andre Reed. Dolphins have taken him out of the game for the most part. An all-pro receiver. They were saying in practice yesterday, Ahmad, that Andre Reed, one of the greatest things that happened to him when he went to the Pro Bowl as an alternate last year and was lining up with guys like Toon and Eddie Brown and saw he was as good as they were, and he came back knowing he was a terrific player, really believing it. He is.
That's what you find out when you go to the Pro Bowl. You look around you and you say, hey, I belong here. I'm as good as these guys. And your level the very next year after the Pro Bowl goes up tremendously because you feel the pressure and the pride of playing at that level every game.
I like what your friend Fran Tarkenton says about the Pro Bowl. He says nobody plays in the Pro Bowl, including the people there. The field goal attempt by Norwood is no good with 3:15 to play. Bills going for a long one, so the Dolphins send their offense out. Down still by a 24-10 count. Now the Colts have come back to lead the Patriots in the fourth quarter, 17-13. New England's been rallying. Ma's going right back in that big sack of corn here.
You know, this is some of the best popcorn I've ever had in my entire life. You know, my hat's off. I tip my hat to the popcorn makers here in Buffalo. Not to mention the person who brought them wings over here.
That's right. Here comes Marino in the Miami pass offense. Downfield throw, tip ball intercepted. It's picked off. It was intended for Clayton. Kirby Jackson has his second of the day. And he's not done as he weaves inside the 20. Jackson's going in. Touchdown, Buffalo. 40 yards, and it's over. That's the free agent that the Jets cut. And the Bills slam the lid on. They're up 30-10 with the extra point coming. Ahmad?
If that run wasn't a woo-wee, it was certainly a woo.
Yes, it was. I think that was a woo-wee.
I'm telling you, he broke a lot of tackles. I think 2 or 3 times they thought he was down, and he kept running and showing his ability as a runner.
Norwood hits the point after, and the Bills extend their lead to 31-10 as Kirby Jackson has his biggest moment in the NFL, taking one back for a touch.
Anytime that you get a tip ball that goes up in the air, the percentages of you getting an interception go way up. This is a ball that Clayton's trying to get. He tips it right back to Kirby Jackson, but this is where the play starts right now. He starts running back towards the middle of the field, then breaks it over to the left side. Now, the thing is, these offensive players, they have not made a tackle since high school. They've always been offensive players. That's why it's so dangerous when a defensive back starts running back down the field. You got guys that aren't used to making tackles. And they're shouting in Buffalo.
They're up and singing the Buffalo shout song. The bat is flying. Dan Marino, as he sees it, went to the wrong guy, and now he's got to defend.
He starts to back up. There's nothing Dan do. He can't tackle. You know, there's no sense trying to throw a shoulder in there and lose himself for the rest of the year. The guy's going to run over him. He's got a chance of getting injured.
The career of Joe Namath was short in making plays and making tackles and interceptions. Suffered major knee surgery, major knee injury, tackling Detroit linebacker Paul Newmoff one year.
Quarterbacks in high school usually make tackles, but that's because they play middle linebacker defense.
Yeah. High spinning kick downfield by Norwood. Willard Reeves runs it back for the Dolphins, and he's cut down at the 15-yard line by Chris Hale, the smallest build. A little cornerback from Southern California, number 26. And now a new quarterback is in, Scott Sequel, second-year player from Virginia. They really think he can be good.
You know, this is really an interesting thing. When you're in a game like this, you're behind 31-10. They put a new quarterback in. But once again, let's take a look at this run. Kirby Jackson with just a fine broken field running here. Runs through a lot of people. The Bills are very good blocking on this play. He gets in for the score. But in a huddle, when you send in a new quarterback, the new quarterback comes in, he's all fired up, ready to go, and the other guys are going like, well, wait a minute, man. I mean, you know, it's a tough spot to put a quarterback in now.
Marino under the gun, tries to trigger a pass ball to Mark Clayton, but it skips in on the 1-yard. Scott Sequel is actually throwing it, the replacement of Marino. Skips it in on the 1 hop. So his first throw is an errant one. He's only thrown 4 passes now this season, and he's completed 1 in previous play. The sack doctor got a hold of him, Leon Seals, just after he released the ball. Marino suffering 3 interceptions today. Threw for 1 touchdown. Was sacked twice. Sequel's on the run. Dumps it short again, trying to go for Jim Jensen.
And Sequels gets a chance to meet Bruce Smith. and Cornelius Bennett. They're saying hello and welcome to the NFL. Ezekiel's just in a tough spot trying to make something happen. And Marino with still those competitive juices flowing over there on that sideline. When he came in, he said, this is a big game, boy, we've got to play. He was so fired up before the game, and I'm sure he's just so disappointed right now.
He'll be back. Now the Dolphins will get a look to see what Sequels can do. Played under George Welsh at Virginia. Very strong arm. And he makes a connection as he gets the ball out across the 20-yard line. Mark Clayton made the catch. Game clock down to 2:30 to play, and it stopped on the incomplete pass. Fourth down comes up now for Miami.
Sequels just lucky to get this ball off, because the moment he lets it go, watch number 55, Cornelius Bennett.
Treated him rather well. He could have given him the helmet.
He could have popped him a little harder than that, but Cornelius being a fine young man.
Yes, he is. He's going to be around a long time, Cornelius Bennett. Never comes off the field. He's in on rush downs, pass downs.
And he wants to play tight end.
Yes, he does. Bills are loaded with blue-chip players. 7 Bills were in the Pro Bowl last January.
That Pro Bowl really does magic for the confidence of your football team. When you make the Pro Bowl, you realize that everybody else in the league realizes that you're a good player. It's something you've been telling yourself all along. All of a sudden, it's reinforced by you getting voted into the Pro Bowl. And then you got to play up to it every week.
Well, you've been there a number of times. Next Sunday, NBC Sports has an exciting NFL doubleheader beginning at 12:30 with NFL Live. Then some of you will see the Colts go to Miami. Others will see the Bills meet the Falcons in Atlanta. And the doubleheader games, the Steelers and the Broncos at Denver. Cincinnati goes against the LA Raiders. 2:12 to play. Fourth down play. Sequels stands in, throws it, makes the connection to Duper, and the Dolphins get a first down and stop the clock with 2:06 to play. Sutton and Jackson were on the tackle. Elijah Pitts, running back coach for the Bills. Former outstanding Packer on the sideline with his 2 standout runners today. First, we're going to look at Sequels fire the ball on an out pattern. Duper makes the first down catch and gets out of bounds. Sequels is big, 6'3", 220 pounds, in his second year from Virginia. Downfield throw, and Clayton catches one that came in quacking. Almost end over end, but got where it had to be. 1:58 to play. The 2-minute warning is given, with the Bills leading the Dolphins 31-10.
2 minutes.
Bills in command late in the game here at sold-out Rich Stadium. Don Criqui with Ahmad Rashad. Picking a most valuable player today is a difficult job. Ahmad, who is it?
Yeah, I noticed that you want nothing to do with this. Could it be Bruce Smith or Thurman Thomas?
It's got to almost be both, I think.
Can we tie? Can there be a tie? Let me ask the producer. Is there a tie? There's a tie. Both of them most valuable players today.
All right, so we have co-MVPs today. One representing a standout defense, All-Pro Bruce Smith, and the young running back Thurman Thomas, who had his most productive day. Time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVPs are Bruce Smith and Thurman Thomas from the Buffalo Bills. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games.
Announced today.
Yeah, well, you can't. They were so strong on both sides. And I'll tell you, Elijah Pitts congratulating Frank Reich on the sideline. Everybody is. He played a very sound game. Didn't throw it often, but he did not make the big mistake again and hit the big play. And now Sequels rolls out. Lets a long ball go. That's offensive interference. It's a touchdown. The ball was caught by Andre Brown, the rookie from Miami of Florida, but he crashed into Mark Kelso, but apparently it was ruled they were making a play for the ball. Obviously he was if he caught it.
He was making a play for the ball, but I thought he ran out of bounds on part of this pattern. Watch his feet. No, he stays in bounds. This is a great play on the ball. Great play on the ball. That's what you want to do. You want to go to the ball aggressively.
He hit Kelso right in that big hat of his.
That's right. The height didn't help him on that play.
This guy's a player. I tell you, the Dolphins got some here in a free agency.
Can't believe Miami keeps putting out those kinds of wide receivers year after year.
Stoyanovich hits the point after, and with 1:50 to go, the Dolphins score, but in all probability too little too late, as they're down now 31-17. Penalty markers down on the point after, but it's against the Bills. Put it on the board.
Boy, I tell you, this bit.
Illegal substitution. 12 men on the field. Defense. The extra point is good. We'll penalize on the kickoff.
Thank you, referee Johnny Greer. The penalty will come on the kickoff as Andre Brown gets in the end zone. He looks like a player.
He certainly does. This is just a great throw and a catch. CQ is rolling out, giving the receiver time to get deep, and then Andre Brown, showing his leaping ability here, just goes to the ball.
This looked like
great
you and
play.
that Viking miracle game.
I did that once in a dream. Andre Brown, great catch.
Maybe got range, 6'4" almost.
And runs well. And the thing is that you can't really judge is his ability to go to the ball once it's in the air.
Cleveland Browns, who are down 10-0, have rallied to beat the Houston Oilers 28-17. The Bears leading the Rams. Now New England has come back to lead the Colts 20-17. That one's gone back and forth.
One of the strangest teams, and I can't figure them out. Just when I think they're not going to do anything, they come back and do everything.
How about Cincinnati? They were down in this game. They scored 56 points.
They did everything.
Yeah. Be an interesting second half. Dolphins aligned for an onside kick. Stoyanovich bounces it downfield. The hands team is out there. Nicely done by Metzlars, number 88, who was a first-team Division II All-American basketball player. He's 6'7", at Wabash College in Indiana. He goes up high and comes down with the rebound.
And last week I was talking about his son. They call him Repeat, Pete and Repeat. Pete being 6'7", his son is only 6 years old. I thought he was 12. His son's 6 years old and about 5'11".
That's the guy, Metzlars, who plans eventually to move to offensive tackle when he loses a little off his fastball and has to move inside. He's a very good blocker.
He's got excellent hands also, too. He just doesn't have the speed, that long-range speed, but he can certainly catch those little ball control passes.
Caught 49 one year as their leading receiver. Handoff goes to Thurman Thomas, who is just turning out those yards big time. Dave Aarons makes the tackle for Miami.
A gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
1:42 to play, and there's a timeout on the field with the score: the Bills 31 and the Dolphins 17. Dan Marino, not a good day for Marino and the Dolphins as their 3-game win streak comes to an end. And they'll make the turn to the second half of the season at 4-4, trailing the Bills 31-17 with 1:42 to play. Buffalo with Reich at quarterback, set to go to the run to try to run out the clock. Thomas. Everybody's a coach in the stands, but I think I might have Thurman sitting down, getting rested for next week.
Stop a 5-yard gain.
You'd look good in a coaching hat.
Another timeout called by the Dolphins with 1:31 to play. Bills fans are chanting, "We want Reed." Andre Reed has a consecutive games receiving streak. I think it's up to 47 now. But he's on the sideline, and sportsman he is. He waved to the fans. He said, "Hey, nothing we can do about it at this point."
Throw him a hitch.
I know if somebody makes Levy aware of it, he'll put him in.
Do you mean you don't think he heard those 80,000 people saying, we want Reed?
He's got that headset on.
I can hear it through my headset. I think they can hear it in Syracuse.
Thurman Thomas runs. Now 4th down comes up. 1:26 to play. John Offerdahl playing much better now as he works back into the lineup. And the Dolphins call a timeout with 1:26 to play. They're out of timeouts and almost out of luck in this game. Tonight on NBC, the Call of the Wild is for help when the magical world of Disney presents Ernest Goes to Camp, followed by the no-nonsense comedy of Sister Kate. And a lady grappler puts the move on one of my two dads. Then 227's Jackie will double your pleasure. An NBC world premiere movie that's tonight only on NBC. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. The producer of today's game, Terry Ewert. Director Ted Nathanson. Associate Director Ray Benassi. As we're coming down the stretch here at Rich Stadium, where the Bills have put in a record crowd of almost 80,500. Sold out 16 consecutive games. Leading the NFL in attendance and leading the AFC East by perhaps 2 games, depending on the outcome of the New England-Indianapolis game. That the Patriots are leading late in the 4th quarter. Punt downfield, and Schwades lets it roll, and the Bills will down it at the 5-yard line. Or let it go out of bounds down at the 4.
Everything goes right for these Bills the last couple of weeks, at least.
Now look at this. The Colts have tied it up. Looks like they could be heading to OT. Colts and Patriots tied 20-all with time almost out at Indianapolis. Steelers have rallied and come back, and now they lead Kansas City. Dallas is close, but still behind in the 4th quarter. New Orleans wins again, beating the Bills' next opponent, the Falcons. Saints, after a 1-4 start, have now won 3 straight.
And we saw them get back on track a few weeks ago.
Then they blew out the Rams last week on the road. Scott Sekiel at quarterback, standing deep in his end zone. He'll run the ball straight ahead, and Sekiel takes it out to the 20-yard line.
Sekiel's with them young, fresh legs.
They want to see him do as much as he can as we go into the final minute of the game. Bills are in the lead, 31-17. Sekiel is almost picked off again by Kirby Jackson. Then he lost it, and it looked like Andre Brown caught another one. Previous reception for Andre, you remember, was the one he took away from Kelso in the end zone for a touchdown.
He had his eye right on that one. Once Jackson knocked it up in the air, Brown stayed with it and made the reception.
Downfield throw, and it's too long for everybody. Nearest to it was Nate Odom to the Bills. 28 seconds to play. 3rd down and 4 arises for Miami. They've got no 15-point plays in their weaponry.
No, Jeff Wright in there. He's the guy that broke that streak by Marino of not being sacked in 19 games, and now he gives the same sort of a welcome to Jeff Sekiel.
Sekiel setting up in the shotgun now at the 21-yard line. 3rd down and 4 for Miami. Dolphins trying to make one more strike, down by 14 points. Here's a throw. And once again, Andre Brown is open off the flank.
And a nice throw by Scott Sekiel. He fired it right on the money.
This Brown's a heck of a target.
Oh, big rangy guy like that. That's all you can ask for. You can throw the ball. You got a lot of area to throw it when you got a guy that has that kind of range.
Sekiel throws it up. And that was very nearly an interception, as the nearest man to it was the strong safety Leonard Smith. And the game clock is down to 2 seconds to play. And the Bills are about to up their record to 6-2 going into the second half of the season. One of the co-MVPs, Bruce Smith, walks the sidelines. And most importantly for the Bills, they found a quarterback they can win with when their star, Jim Kelly, was out.
And it's mainly because of this defense led by Bruce Smith that they turned it up a couple of notches.
Yes, they did.
They realized that we had a problem, that Kelly wasn't going to be able to play. And what they want to do is get behind Reich. Bruce Smith told us, hey, they needed to turn it around right away.
Marv Levy pointed that out strongly yesterday, that our defense has put our offense in position to win. Andre Brown almost had one, and that's going to do it. Final numbers are up as the gun sounds. The Buffalo Bills defeat the Miami Dolphins 31-17 as Coach Levy goes across to shake the hand of a man he greatly admires, Don Shula. The Dolphins will go back to Miami to play the Colts next week. Miami now 4-14.
The Dolphins made a run at it. They had a chance to get in here and play for first place, and they actually didn't do much. And once again, we see Bruce Smith and Marino talking a little bit. Frank Reich, who made no mistakes, had a perfect game today. Buffalo leading the division 6-2. Miami falls to 4-4. They had their chance. Just weren't able to pull it off. And Buffalo, boy, they really turned it on.
Bills will be awaiting the outcome of that Indianapolis-New England game. Those two teams tied late in the fourth quarter at 20-all. Here is the play of this day, the spectacular run of Thurman Thomas. As he weaves through everybody, the entire Miami defense had a shot at him at one time or another. Takes it in for 30 yards as he finished the day in a touchdown. Finished the day with 147 yards rushing on 25 carries. Now for Ahmad Rashad, this is Don Criqui. Glad you could be with us at Rich Stadium where the Bills defeated the Dolphins 31-17. Stay tuned for the Budweiser NFL report after these messages coming up from your local